started. Deep below the avium, within a macabre laboratory, our heroes come face to face with the Quorum Necromancer. It is known that every sentient being is susceptible to the lure of necromancy, the promise of seeing loved ones once again, or raising an army of powerful minions, can sometimes be difficult to resist. The birdfolk of Humblewood are not immune to this lure. Despite the efforts of the professors of the avium to curb this curiosity and teach necromantic theory only, this intrepid student before you seems to have continued his pursuits into the practical application in secret. Challenging tradition for the sake of knowledge, this intelligent, haggard, old-kindled Corvum stands amid the result of what looks like months of work. He resembles a thick-billed raven with coarse, hoary feathers ruffled from years of adventuring. After the harrowing events that led you here, through soul-draining tribulations and a fight against the undead, you managed to convince him to not to flee, giving him the chance of explaining himself. Last we left off, we were right here on this map. He points at the remains of his latest creation, the cobble fright now laying strewn on the dungeon floor. This undead monstrosity created through dark magic is both terrifying and impressive in its robust design, having been constructed from what looks like 5 or 6 birdfolk skeletons, vastly increasing the quantity of necromantic energies that were contained within. In a somewhat arrogant tone, he explains his side of it all, monologuing. I worked tirelessly trying to find a way to stop the immortal aspect of fire. In my possession is months of research. I have discovered a possibility to drain it of its vital energies using the cobble fright. For my creation, while built with the tremendous strength of a dozen birdfolk combined, is a double-edged sword and requires a large amount of necromantic energy to sustain itself. Alas, in my haste to find a solution, I did not take into account the disastrous effects of such creatures. The discordant part that comprise cobble frights exert tremendous strain on the body of these creatures. The source of this strain is rooted in the same magic that allow birdfolk skeletons to recall skills they once knew in life. For the bones, they remember. Remnants of the soul, such as memories, desire, fears, skills, and certain forms of knowledge are imprinted on the bones of the departed. I activated the thing with my necromantic magic, and these conflicting impressions swirled chaotically within the cobble fright. And since they are composed of multiple bodies, I did not account for the often seen phenomenon of differing times, places, and walks of life, impressions contained within the creature clashing in a volatile and chaotic way. This constant internal conflict required large and regular supplies of energy to keep it stable, but it also granted it a surprising degree of resistance against those who would seek to wrest control of the creature away from me, its creator. I knew the risks. I've read of my predecessors who had to be careful to maintain control over these dangerous creatures. It seems that damaged copper fights will readily harvest their makers as an immediate source of life and energy, but even so, I was ready to take this risk. Stopping the aspect is worth any risk. But now it lays in ruin. Of course, you couldn't keep your beaks out of where they didn't belong. What does the Avium and the defenders of Alderheart possibly understand about the necessity and the steps required to stop the aspect? What can you do to defeat this aspect on your own? Now, With my laboratory exposed, my plan is ruined. What's the point in running if you mean to stop me? I have exhausted all non-lethal means of escape. I have no will to harm anyone else anymore. I am meant to save Humblewood, not leave corpses in the wake of the path to salvation. The necromancer turns to face the unconscious body of Mordain upon the table and says, finally defeated, I think this has got long enough. I can't run away from my fate any longer. Take me, if you will, to face the Dean and answer for my crimes. I am ready to face my demons. What do you do?
Jogo points at the dead body. What's his name?
Mordain.
Ordain's dead body. Can you fix that?
I am afraid that my spells are quite powerful. Although there is hope, should you get him to the infirmary, perhaps the mages there will be able to dispel the curse upon him and revivify him.
But how do you expect us to explain how we became in this state?
How do you mean?
Well,
Will he
he's a
remember
professor
any of
that's
that?
been roaming around the halls, and all of a sudden we bring him to the infirmary cursed. They're gonna probably want to know how the hell he got that way.
Perhaps we can pin it on the massive beast we just slew. Not like
Maybe.
they'd be able to tell what it could do, correct?
You'd have me not take pride in my work. It is
I
a fine
mean, it's
curse,
better
and I
than
take
going to
responsibility
jail.
for it.
I think if you
I
wish
go to jail either
responsibility-
way for what I've done. You think he was my only victim?
Yes.
Was he? Are there other such cursed individuals lying about this basement?
He points at Cobblefright. Not about this basement, but my beast had to feed. For it is such a mighty creation, it requires to sustain itself on the souls of many. Mordain was but the first.
Wait, so you planned on using that to stop the beast?
My plan was to drain it from its energies. Use Cobblefright here to suck the very essence out of the aspect of fire.
Do you know how big the aspect of fire is?
How big?
It's like a mountain, dude.
Damn.
You could probably see it from the top floor.
It was
Yeah.
a lot smaller last time I saw it.
Well,
Well,
now it's a mountain.
now it's a mountain.
We still have those pages that we found before we entered this room, right? With
That
regard
I-
to the...
What you took from a book,
Was it
not found.
Borealis?
Still
Yeah.
my credit.
Anyways,
We still have those pages, yeah?
My
Of the
research.
Borealis?
Should be rolled up in Pavel's scroll rack.
yes, I pull out the scroll rack. Oh, just somewhere that's not for you guys to see. There it is. What was that noise?
It was like the microphone picking up the last second of whatever noise Megan made.
I was laughing.
It is ironic that my creation fell to the very hands that deliver it its heart. He points at Rollo. Rollo, you recognize the core from before you to be the very hooded figure to whom you delivered that fossil so many days ago. And in fact, look around, this chamber seems to be a bit more developed, but familiar all the same. You've been here before.
This looks accusingly at Rollo. Like, what was he talking about?
What are you talking about?
Okay, like outside of the game, hold on. I don't know what the object itself was. Wait, hold on. I didn't Roll didn't know. She knew that it was just valuable, but she didn't know what the object itself was. 'Cause she respects the delivery and all that.
I ain't shaping your backstory.
I put my finger at the crave and I'm like, you told me you'd use it for good, not for this.
I am using it for good. For the greater good of
This
the
is
wood. Saving it
But
from
the
the purge.
sacrifices, the sacrifices are
They're
highly
fine, they
inappropriate.
will recover. It's just a little bit of soul shards that they will heal up over time. It is not. I'm not here to kill. Perhaps
Look,
you would see
point
this price as too
ordained.
much.
Lucas
What do you mean?
points to
You say
Ordain's
that-
corpse and like all the other bonuses. What do you mean you're not here to kill? What do you explain all this?
He is suspended in animation. Place fingers upon his neck, you will feel a pulse. He is alive.
But-
Well, bring him to the infirmary, dispel him, he'll be fine. Trudging about the library and not appreciating a single book within its confines.
And how did you gather all the bones needed to create your cobble fright? Did you go grave robbing?
Do I look like a butcher? Of course, grave robbing, what use have they? They're already with the Night Father. Grave robbing, the surveyors that I lured to this dungeon. Have you not inspected the school's ground for any clues before barging into my laboratory? Did you just sort of skip 3 whole sections of this chapter or something and not
Oh.
know what I've been doing all this time? Weird.
Hey,
Frankly, we
side
just kind of
quest,
found a
we'll go
secret
back.
door. And Mordane's creepy ass.
Amateurs
like,
don't even know how to investigate a proper mystery. Just skip to a secret door, will you? Just go in and
Well,
some
technically,
guy put a bit of work into all of that, and he just scraps it all away. Oh wait, I'm done.
okay, anyways, no more old man voice. Basically, sir,
Right. It's
everything
fucking
I
later.
keep seeing is about the balance of fire and ice. And that the ice aspect dropped the thingy called the thingamajig that I mentioned last time, like 3 times.
Borealis.
Do you know anything about the Borealis?
I know
think that is the.
everything about it. Without
Then where the
me,
fuck is it?
I don't know.
Then you're fucking useless.
You just said you know
Yet.
everything, Bird.
I have spent months of research, and without me, you are but lost. You need me.
I mean, you don't know where it is. I don't know where it is.
I
We're seeing
know
we're on the
how
same
to
level.
How
find
can we
it.
trust you again? How can we trust you? You
Oh,
lied
how
to
do
What
me.
we-
choice do you have? Are you gonna go wander around the grove until some ash snake spits you out?
Is this located at the Avium or where in I can't remember the name of this land is called?
Everything.
Or is
Humblewood?
it elsewhere?
I
in the-
have an idea.
called
Allies on my side who are gifted with visions who can lead us to the place where the Borealis is hidden.
Okay, works for me.
Just
Although, can
stop
you-
making
can-
those things.
Well, can you give him
Can't
the map so he can
promise
tell
that.
us where we need to go?
All right. You see this map? Point on it, and we'll go there. You get what you need. We'll get what we need. Unless you can like teleport, and we can just go there now.
You
Chungo
can maybe
doesn't believe in
postpone
teleportation.
your
Oh, Chungo, it doesn't
confession.
matter what you believe in. If it happens, it happens.
Well, Chungo doesn't believe in lizard folk.
So just let me get this straight. You would have me walk out of here consequence free after all I've done.
No, I said
Yes.
postpone. I said
Absolutely
postpone
not.
your meeting with Gabe.
I mean, to be
Wait.
honest, when you were first talking, it sounded like you're like, I'm gonna finish what I started and turn myself in for the crimes I've committed to do the better good. But, maybe you're a little
Isn't that
slippery
not
than that.
why you barged into my laboratory in the first place? He looks genuinely confused.
We just looking for answers, dude. We're here.
We're just trying to get rid of the fire giant thing. Fire mountain monster.
Who knows?
Not that I
If
really
you help
care,
us
but I
without-
suppose I don't want to be, I told you so later. But wouldn't you belaying my capture and traveling with me without the knowledge of the Dean sort of incriminate you as well?
Yeah, Chungo
Well-
fine with being incriminated.
I mean, it would.
Nothing new.
We're on official business from the council of this entire land, so I'm sure there's a little wee way in the hole. incrimination.
We've been
Jungle points
tasked
at
with
symbol abandoned.
we've been tasked with getting rid of this calamity from our land. I'm sure that we can figure something
Listen,
out
if you
and there'll
care
be
not
understanding
for
in our methods.
if you care not for the dean and his opinion and wish me to not face him, that works for me. I'm not gonna argue. That's only in my favor.
Great.
You will face him, and you're also going to tell us how to find the Borealis. This is not negotiable.
I mean, I think that's what he's doing, Wilkes. Although I can't see very well, so maybe not.
What
can
of
always
him?
bonk him if he
Points
wants
at
to work.
Mordain.
We'll
Check
bring him.
carry him up to
Did
the
he
healers.
see you do stuff specifically?
Until you kids arrived, nobody noticed anything. My plan.
Alright, cool.
I'm like
We
2
just
years
go get
away
more
from
day.
expiry. I am not a child.
He's not wrong.
In fact,
Chungo believes he could break his wing when flying
Oh.
someday.
I don't even have legs.
Chungo hopes.
Chungo? Chungo, would you mind bringing Mordain up to the infirmary while the rest of us escort
I'm gonna
our
follow
Corvus
Chungo.
friend?
I'm gonna write a quick little letter and be like, Mordain, we saved you. Busy saving the world. Maybe
Later.
talk after.
I'm
Welcome
gonna
back
have,
to the
After
living.
we're done.
I'm gonna write down a side note, and it said, "Yo, Mordain, one fucking hell of a party we had last night. You were passed out for so fucking long. Hey, chill."
It's been 5 years.
Just like meth with his
What?
head.
What do you have in the background?
My research. Months of it.
Is there
I feel like
nothing
I'm gonna
that...
regret asking this, but show it to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, show it to us.
Which
babe.
back room are you talking about?
Where Pavo was
where
these
like
lords lead to?
walking.
The one on the bottom is the staircase. I don't know what the one at the top is.
The one on the bottom wall is indeed a staircase that leads. It's a secret passage, one of many, apparently, that leads.
Secret tunnel
Yeah. Out of here, essentially.
through the mountain.
And on top?
And on top, if you must pry, he makes his way slowly with a gait, leaning upon his staff. Opening
Chungo
the
stops
door.
being big.
You do that.
Chungo's taking up too much room.
Well, that's a minute, anyways. It's a small office upon the table. There are several notes which he still didn't get through. A quick look upon them, you can kind of see the signature on the bottom of the documentation. The same name over and over again. Signed. Ebonheart.
Is that your name?
Yes.
First name, last name.
I am
The last name.
Odwald Ebonheart the Third.
Is your last name the third?
Oh, you're all so thick.
No,
Chungo found out you were Mordain without knowing, dude.
Wilkes is looking over the additional papers in like the room in general in disgust, and he's like, "Okay, let's just take this guy out." Deal with
Chungo
him.
takes the quill.
Add a
So
quote
Chuck
to
and
your
Papa, you're gonna go
inventory.
to the infirmary.
Perfectly cut.
You're gonna go up to the infirmary, and then Rolo, Wilkes, and I will go out probably the side door, the side staircase, to avoid discovery as we meet you outside. I'm assuming. Is that the plan?
Yeah.
One at a time then. I'll do Chungo first. As you take up Mordain's unconscious gray-skinned body, do you venture, I'm supposing, to the infirmary?
Yeah, I go and look for one of those sign. Oh wait, I look at the back of the medallion thing to see the map and how to get to the infirmary.
The map includes what a student would use. It doesn't contain any of the secret passages, lest you have discovered them before. and mark them on the back of your medallion. Nonetheless, if you remember the library map, the door to the south leads up to the central building.
I go there and I follow the map to go to the infirmary.
Carrying Mordain with you?
Yep.
Sure. You venture back.
Ignoring any looks that people give me.
You venture back whence you came, down the hallway past the abandoned classrooms, back to the library, and up to the central building. You do get several looks from both students and the porch guard about as you're carrying the unconscious body of Mordain. Porch guard, dressed in a purple sash uniform, approaches you and just says, "What happened? What's the meaning of this?"
No idea. He just said he saw something and fell down.
Another incident?
Another?
Get him to the infirmary, then. Here, we'll escort you. He turns to one of his porch guard, Bushman, tell the dean. We got another one. Looks like Mordain took the brunt of it. Yeah, more shadows. I don't know. Why are you asking me like I know what's going on here? Just tell about the dean. And he just sends one of his guys up toward the dean. Do you stop him or anything?
No.
Okay. Come. Let's get him to the mage's infirmary. And he does so, escorting you to, past, faculty offices, lecture halls, this, large communal dining hall, and eventually you maneuver to the infirmary where several white-robed wizards help you place Mordain's body onto one of the many coats and beds here. They begin to inspect him, kind of casting detect magic, trying to ascertain what's wrong with him, and you watch them work all the while. It takes them a matter of several minutes to pinpoint the exact nature of this necromantic curse and dispel it. And as they do so, the great energy kind of wrapping Mordain dissipates with his. Mordain lets out a moan of pain and a gasp of breath. Still unconscious, he just kind of sort of blinks his eyes half open and falls asleep, weak but conscious and alive.
That boy needs some milk.
How long was he suspended for?
Don't know.
This is dark magic. This is one of the white world wizards. I haven't seen anything like this. Perhaps a few of the incidents with a few necromancy touched students, but this is beyond the capabilities of any of us. Nobody would dare such dark magic. It looks like he's been out for months.
It's so weird though. It was literally like a bit ago and somewhere up there where I found him, because you all saw him walking around today.
Where did you find him?
Near the library.
Of course, Mordain doesn't leave his library. It's like his second home.
Exactly. Skeleton soldier was pointing in the room, and then I went in there.
Well, good on you for finding him. I'm sure the dean will make sense of all this.
Hopefully.
Damn Nightseed. What are you thinking?
What is that?
Nightseed? Just
Yeah.
local necromancer.
Oh,
Professor now from necromancy, theoretical necromancy.
interesting.
I knew she was up to something. I knew she was experimenting around. Just didn't think that she was capable of this. Why? They seemed very confused.
I doubt it was her.
Meanwhile,
Seems like there was other incidents.
yeah, I mean, I'm surprised you haven't heard, but I suppose Dean haven't told you yet. There have been a few, yes, a few mysterious circumstances. One of the poor students, I think his name is Figgery. He was here about a week ago. This skittish German who recently applied for sick leave. Filed a report about experiencing something unusual and frightening on campus. Most of us thought that he was exaggerating to gain a medical exemption from classes, but the dean believed him, and I saw his face. Something scared him. I'm not sure of the truth of the matter. I just helped cure the little boy. When he came to us, he was weak of heart and could barely walk. Now
And
I
you
can
assume Night Siege for that one too?
I mean, I don't want to assume the worst, but all evidence points to necromancy magic about, and she's the only one capable of such things. Other incidents involved our local diviner, the instructor of divination magic. She has been seeing all kinds of cryptic predictions regarding a bad event that either is going to or already has happened. We're not sure. He's a brilliant scholar, but a bit of an oddball. It will be
Where's that guy?
Korvax Ravane. You will find him in his chambers up. He will point to a medallion where you can find his office. He's a little bit disturbed by the visions, but again, if asked, he keeps repeating the same divination over and over again. A few of our skeletal servitors have been acting weirdly. I mean, everything has been going wrong lately, and it seems now it's escalating to its peak.
Okay. Well, looks like he's in good hands now, so...
We'll do what we can.
Yep.
I hope that
No
your
problem.
investigation into matters is going well as well. The sooner
We
you
hope so,
find out
too.
who did this.
Hey, Pablo, you want to go talk to that crazy seer guy?
Sure.
Before we
What
do
way was that again?
I mean, you will see on the back of your AP medallion a map leading to the offices of Korvax Ravane, the divinistic sector of the divination classrooms in the main trunk area. Before we do that, I'm gonna go ahead and flip back to the rest of the party. What are you guys doing over there in the dungeons?
We're just watching over Corvum at the moment. Wilkes is regarding this man as if like a meth addict. He's like this disgusting person.
Like a meth addict.
So
Easy.
I'm-
I might have some meth addicts
it's
watching this
indulging
video.
in like this vile method.
You think a meth addict
Dare
can afford
you
a computer?
segregate half our audience?
As
We have
Wilkes,
half an audience.
as Wilkes continues to give
I'm
Evan
just
Hart
scowling at him.
this the stink eye. I'm walking around the space and kind of leafing through some of his research and trying to see if I can catch anything of interest.
A little bit nosy, aren't you? But I
Well, at
appreciate
this-
one who takes interest in the dark arts. Too many of us are ignorant not to appreciate them. Yeah. He flips a few pages over unless you scour some of his latest findings. Prideful of his findings, indeed.
How did you come upon, why did you choose necromancy? Like, there must be some kind of dawning moment in your life where was the solution you came up with.
You speak of dawn. Do you know what the world was before the Corvum brought fire to the people?
Really
Darkness,
dark.
ignorance. I tread and learn the arts that others do not dare touch. My hands grazing the flame. I burn
Suggest right at
so
this
that
moment.
others
I'm
can
ready to
remain
just
warm.
turn it off and go. Yeah.
She's gonna be talking to my dad. I'm gonna be like turning her down a little bit. I'm destined. Let's say that. For great things.
What is this great thing you're destined for?
I am somewhat of an arcane prodigy. Why should I deny myself necromancy when I have mastered all other schools of magic?
Well, because you know quite a bit about magic. How come necromancy is this black sheep in the Arcana community?
People are
Wilkes,
not keen on defiling. Go ahead, Wilkes.
Wilkes sort of just regards the bones around us and the disturbed remains of the dead. It says, "Look at the desecration, the disgusting, vile nature of this magic."
Bah!
It's
What use have they have for bones? They are with the Night Father now. These calcified remains can be used for far more than just fertilizer.
Look at this room that he spends so much time in. It's disgusting. It reeks of death and blood. Druidic magic, life magic, is so much more calming, so much more peaceful, so much more. It's healthier. It
I
soothes
agree.
the mind and body.
It is a wondrous thing, magic in general. You choose to deny yourself one side of the coin. I do not.
When a person dies, it is their place to become one with nature and to let their body flow into whatever it is that they may bring upon. The next tree, the next field of grass and lush vegetables. You desecrate the dead. You bring them out. You taint them with whatever this is.
I believe you have
You
your
allow
answer.
that natural flow.
Here, behold, among your own. There is the consensus of the people.
So you do this for a greater purpose, and yet you don't seem to spend very much time amongst the world that you're supposedly destined to. Either you think it's being saved, or
You would have
bring
me
to a higher
carousing about as if that makes me a better person.
purpose. No, but I think it'd be good to know the people that you're supposedly trying to save.
You speak as if I don't.
What's the point?
Of saving them? Of saving the wood?
Yes, but if you don't know what you're saving, at that point you're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for them. And also, how do you know that the state in which you're saving them from is going to be what they need?
Eberhard looks like he's about to get a nosebleed.
What?
Oh god, I wish I was down there. Be funny as hell.
Listen, I am a simple man who knows the simplicity of what I do and why. I take risks for the greater good of the wood, whatever it takes. If you're unhappy with what you see, turn me in. Else, stop judging me. And let's get out of here before... And then he gets cut off as you all get a notification in your head. The same familiar ringtone of the bells that you got before. That little... doo-doo. Ashling, please report to Dean's office. Along with everybody else's names.
Real quick, out of character, is there a reason we're not turning this guy in?
Okay,
Because we need
Roll, I'll let you know what you miss.
What
thank
did you
you.
say,
Mhm.
Florian?
Bye, Tom.
I said out of character, is there a reason we're not turning this guy in? I didn't catch
Uh,
that. Either one of us.
Yeah, because he can take us to the Borealis, which
We
is
need.
Oh, stuff.
Is there a reason
where-
we can't just get the information out of him and go by ourselves?
I mean,
I mean, he's a
he could-
necromancer.
probably is more powerful than us and could assist in the
Bah.
preparations.
Well, also he said that we have to go to one of his contacts and they can tell us. So I feel like the contact's not just gonna tell us straight out.
we can
Fine,
always turn him
fine.
in later.
Yeah.
We'll
true.
deal with him for now.
Just so I know,
Maybe
because
we
I'm
can help
DM and I'm
heal.
confused. Why are you guys not turning him in now? What's stopping you?
Because we need him for his contact. Because
And
he
you
said
won't get that if you turn him in?
Yeah.
Well, if you were the contact, and
This is
would
the
you
player.
just tell
This is the player
someone?
perspective. I don't get as DM. But I'm sitting here like,
Well, typically when we turn people in, we lose out on things because you know, they don't want to cooperate anymore. Or, you know, they get put into stasis jail or something that prohibits them from actually...
You're right. The dean of the AVM is gonna put him in jail and prevent the only solution
Surely,
to saving the wood by putting him in
I,
jail first.
I mean,
surely
if
the
that was the case,
professors would possess some kind of mind reading magic to in order to
I guess,
learn
but
about
I
this
mean,
contact that we would
anyway,
need. Right?
what do we want to do? Because I don't care.
I want to turn him in. This guy's a disgusting, vile person.
Having
Jungle?
spent this time with Wilkes and kind of exploring everything and getting to didn't see anything. Or Aisling gets to the point where she starts to agree with Wilkes and is baffled by what she sees and is on board with Wilkes and
Hey,
going to
Jungle?
see Gabe.
What up?
Are we turning him in or not?
Well, it's up to you guys. Jungle will follow through whatever you guys do.
All right, that's 2 for 4. There we go. Turn him in.
Jungle just realizes prison's not a good place to go.
Who said he's gonna go to prison? We can make an argument to say that we need him.
It's true.
To the
Jungle
dean's
not the
office
best
we
word
go
boy. You make the words.
with Mr. Ebonheart.
So
Pablo, do you have a
Wilkes-
spare sock or something?
Pavo is not beside you right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like never mind. Aisling, do you
Nope.
have a spare
Yeah,
sock
also
or
good
something?
split party. I don't know why you guys do it every time.
Pavo is several hundred feet above you.
Maybe? I don't know. Let me check.
Pavo is in the dean's office now.
Yeah, you. Okay.
I
Your
think I have
pictures,
some spare. Yeah, I have some spare clothes. I give you like spare piece of like cloth that I have.
I roll it up and tie it into a knot amongst itself, and I want to put it in his mouth.
Like forcefully?
Yes. I don't know,
will
man. He looked
forcefully-
like he got a big
I will
mouth.
forcefully do it if he doesn't let me.
Dex contest, and he's gonna rule disadvantage because I did not see that coming.
Oh
Wait,
God,
what if-
Wilkes is
That's
So
vengeful.
I'm rolling
Oh.
disadvantage. You rule Dex contest. He's gonna stop ruling in secret. No more secrets. Yeah, he rolled a crisp 8. To try and like avoid. He's like, just what do you think you're doing? Oh, the many hours.
Keep it in
Why?
your mouth and swallow. Don't spit it out.
Or
Ew.
And I'm gonna use some rope to. Wait, he doesn't have hands. Can you tie someone's
is
hands
this
again?
truly necessary?
Yes, it is. Keep your mouth shut. All right, let's escort him out.
Right. All right.
I'll grab one of his wings. Aisling, you grab the other as we escort him out. I'm trying to prevent him from potentially casting any spells that only have verbal or somatic components.
Fair enough.
Sure. And Rolo can lead the way to make sure we got space.
Sure. All right. For the sake of expediency, then, since we seem to be agreeing on this, as you escort the Corv Necromancer, again, without resistance, he follows you. His eyes are cast down toward the floor as the many students kind of give a side glance and is now gagged and bound both sides. Corvum. You maneuver past the faculty offices, lecture halls, a large communal dining hall, and as you pass the infirmary, you can see that Mordain is fast asleep. That gray energy kind of seeped away from him, and many white-robed mages surround him, taking care of him, trying to heal any ailments he might have. Proceeding
Yep.
higher up. Yep.
Did the other students or faculty recognize Corbin?
What?
Did the other students or faculty recognize him? Like, are they like, oh my gosh, why is he?
Not the
Why
students.
is like this?
You know that there's a huge gap between the kind of the students attending school and him, who seems to be more like an alumni. But some of the professors like that you recognize by the uniform kind of pass, and they're like give a double take, like, is that Ebonheart? And
It's kind of, all you hear is kind of pass by. Some of them recognize him, yeah.
I see.
High in the avium structure, you arrive at the Dean's private study, used by every headmaster of the avium since its founding. You find the Dean in his office in a nervous state. He is speaking to Chungo and Pavel, and moments after you enter with sort of like you tagging, like role leading and you kind of tagging behind, he asks you to shut the door. Dean Winsworth fixes you with a serious stare and begins to anxiously continue talking to Chungo and Pavel. As I was saying... you're here. Good. I was just about to summon you too. I hope your search is going well. I don't mean to alarm you, but several strange things have been reported across campus, and well, this college was made by powerful wizards, and we haven't really figured out everything those old cotters left hidden here and there, magical defenses and the like. We've had a few accidents in the past. I hope this isn't the case, but if it is, well, you folks, the defenders of Haldahar, right? I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have looking into this. Who's that among you? Looks familiar.
Lucas sort of like pushes him forward a bit and says, "This is the man responsible for the strange instances occurring around here."
You're efficient. Quite efficient.
We are the heroes of Alderheart, of course.
Right.
The wind provides.
Have you got proof? I just want to make sure we caught the right guy.
We caught him in a secret lair that he has hidden underneath the library. It's filled with vile, disgusting necrotic magic and other components. He also kept Mordain in stasis there, in a room.
Quite troubling.
His name is
Oh, I think I know what his name is. I remember now. Dean Winsworth looks upon the Corvin with like a look of sort of shock turning to disappointment. Artwalt, is it? Is that true? Such a brilliant alumni of the college, and you would perpetrate such heinous actions under my beak. Shame.
Lucas gives him permission to remove the clothing from his mouth.
Yeah. Takes it. Aldewald just kind of raises his head, finally kind of unclenching his jaw, and raises his head to speak in a matter-of-fact voice. Headmaster, you of all people must understand the gravity of the situation. I took steps to try and fix what I have done. I always respected you for your astute judgment and ability to think logically. Surely you will take the time to consider a punishment fitting the crime, for the greater good of the Humblewood folk. The Dean takes a moment to consider in silence, never leaving his eyes from the student that was once. Oswald continues. My research has yielded results, you see. If the aspect can't be destroyed, perhaps these heroes of yours may be able to reseal it in such a way that its harmful energies are contained. It is a long shot, but I know of one who may be of help. She is a seer of great talent who can help them find an item that could, theoretically, be used to stop the aspect. I know where to find her, but that will require you to make a decision. Punch me if you will, but let me help these heroes of yours. We must bring an end to this madness. You must see this as I do. You need my research to reverse what I have done. It has to be
What
me.
if we say we don't want your help?
The choice is yours.
Well, Wilkes, I want his help. I don't know how long I have to live and cannot spend years looking for some long-lost, potentially existing thing. Like we even have years.
Without me, you have maybe days.
I know.
Tell us how to find what we're looking for. That's the most that we want from
Pretty
you.
sure he just did, Wilkes. You hard of hearing? We gotta go to a seer.
Right, where are they?
I don't know. I think he's waiting on a decision from the headmaster.
Indeed I do. A decision from you. I believe the headmaster will follow suit, isn't that right, Gabe? Gabe is still contemplating, listening, thinking more than doing, trying to observe the situation.
I think we must consider that the well-being of everyone's entire existence is far more important than immediately casting someone to pay for their crimes.
I'm sorry,
Jungle.
out of character. When he said that he wanted to offer his assistance, I thought he meant that he wanted to travel along with us.
True.
Good.
Rather
I mean,
than just
at this
offering
point,
his
you face a
information.
branch in the road sort of thing. It's up to you all of you as one, whether or not to accept Oddworld's help. I mean, Dean Winsworth takes time to consider all this, and perhaps he will advise that this could represent the best option for success, even if you may not like the idea of teaming up with Oddworld. But ultimately, it's your choice. For this, for his part, the Dean will can ensure that the Necromancer is held in custody if you decide to leave him here. And he will make sure that Oddworld faces judgment before the council at Elderheart for his crimes and such. But as for the Necromancer, Oddworld will accept whatever consequences his actions have brought. So long as you promise to stop the aspect before it destroys the wood, that's really all he cares about.
Jungle
Actually-
believes in redemption.
I do
Yeah,
want
Ashling
him.
turns. Sorry.
Go continue.
Hagen's
No, you go, Lucas.
I was gonna say that I don't want to spend time with him. I'd be willing to sort of offer him a lesser sentence if he is cooperative and gives us the information that we need and stuff like that.
I can, says Gabe. Gabe Winsworth just. I can ensure that he will be cooperative. I have the means of making him compliant. Where are these things? I'll have to find them. I mean, all I care is the safety of my students. Whether he is with you under your watch or under the watch of the guards matters not to me. But I can promise you this, he will be compliant. He will have no choice.
Perhaps we should at least tempt him to make that choice willingly. Ashling turns to Ebonheart. As we spoke downstairs, you say you want to save the people? Will you help us of your own volition? Will you?
I want
you
nothing more
guarantee-
than for Humblewood not to burn.
Can you say so much for your associate? Will she help us without your
Surely.
presence?
She was always good of heart, kind. She was like a mother to me. I think I love her still. Susan always had a way with my heart.
Of course, it's Susan. It's always Susan. Susan this, Susan
It is a
that.
common name, I suppose.
Is it
Is it telling the truth?
in the swamp?
Insight check. Oh,
I did.
oh, you're way ahead.
Yeah.
mm,
She a slight prickly on the outside.
So it seems like he's telling the truth. I mean, time has made Oddwood reflect on his actions, and he feels great shame. Kind of get a sense of that. Regardless, he's generally willing to help how he can. Sort of committed to fixing his mistakes in the right way, and he seems to generally speak of Susan with fondness and heart.
Is this the same Susan that summoned a demon?
Maybe. Probably.
Are you acquainted?
Yeah, I love Susan. She's great.
Yeah, she's quite.
How old are you?
Doesn't matter.
Are you like Pavo
Is this
age?
Is she cradle robbing, or are you
We have been adventuring together for years. I don't know what you're implying. Frankly, I am slightly offended. We've studied together in this avium, and we both got kicked out of it. No thanks to you, Gabe. And we've been friends ever since. I am not sure what it is you're insinuating, but I won't worry about it.
Well, anyways, is he coming with us or not?
I
People.
think that if he's willing to actively help us with more than just information, and especially if he is willing to actively participate in seeing what is out there and not just using the information that's being told to him in a dark room, and he wants that redemption, I don't think it's up to us to deny him the opportunity to gain it.
It is up to you guys to deny him.
Chungo likes Susan. He likes Susan. Susan
I
likes
like-
him.
The
I like
morality
Chungo.
of it.
Chungo likes Susan. Susan likes this guy. This guy likes Susan. Chungo likes this guy.
Chungo doesn't like Pavel.
Yeah, good enough
So
for
I
me.
think at this point we all kind of turn and look to Wilkes and await his.
Wilkes, Chungo has idea.
Wilkes sighs and he's like, "Ugh, if we must take him."
Chungo pulls out a paper bag
And
and starts putting it over
we sentenced
Evan Hart's
you
head.
to beg headdom.
Evanhard is just so done that he's like, here, let me help you. Might as well get this over with. He lifts his big up. Yes, this is quite entertaining. Haha, you
And
are
I do
all
like a ta-da
so funny.
thing
The
to
wood
Wilkes.
is burning, but you would have bags put in my head. Oh, the
We
entertainment.
put,
Look,
we like he
It
like
does help
slits
to
it like
mask the smell-
he puts
the
like a
smell of death on
slit,
him.
puts like a slit down the
I
center
widen
so
my
it
eyes,
past his
happy about
beak.
my decisions.
It does help to mask the smell of death on him. You know, it's an improvement.
I pull out
We
some
could-
cologne and I
we
start
could-
spraying it on him a bit.
This-
Oh,
Say,
no,
we could
but
always.
But that's
I'm sure
old
that
to
as
death.
large as the avium is, we can find a nice large bird bath for him.
Anyways, Headmaster Dean Man.
Winsworth.
Winsworth.
I've earned the title.
Yes.
Gabe?
Gabe.
It's better than Dean Man. Dean Man. I'm not Jewish. What am I?
Uh,
What does that have anything to do with you?
if you have nothing left to add, I think we and Mr. Baghead over here, ever known as Ebonheart, will be on our way to Susan. Unless, of course,
straight away, without rest, You've been through a lot, but I suppose it is your decision. I will not stop you.
Chungo down to
I-
sleep.
Yeah.
We probably should rest. I also want to buy something before we go
Oh,
in preparation.
well, that's fair enough.
We'll make it quick.
Before, or as. Are we finished in the dean's office?
Your
Miss,
call.
Keep talking.
Winsworth, do you happen to have any form of magic that could get us to the swamp? By chance?
I mean, the only teleportation circle I possess is the one that's tied to this place. Unfortunately, the medallions bring you back, but it is a one-way trip. I'm afraid you'll have to
They
travel
do.
by foot to wherever it is you wish to go throughout
Okay.
Everton.
Fair enough.
Wait, how do we use the medallions? That's really useful.
Guess we
Did
click
you
our
not?
heels to-
Did you not investigate the third side of the medallion?
Third side?
The third
side
side.
of it?
Third side. You know, you take a medallion, you look at it, that's the first side. You turn around, that's the second side. You turn back around again, and that's the third side. Magic
Chungo
artifacts.
does this.
Does that keep
1, 2,
going?
3, you
Infinite
see, like,
number
a-
of sides?
You do that, and you see like a magic circle pattern on the
Hey,
front
Chungo
face.
flips it again.
It disappears.
That's cool.
It's like that. Oh, you haven't read the book. Never mind. I was like, it's like that turncoat with like many sides.
Cool. Well, I guess it's time to go have a nap.
We'll keep Oddwald here, safe with me. I need to find those damn shackles so he can stop casting his darn necromancy about. Did you even get your hands on any of that? That is none of your business. And he says nothing more.
Happy time.
nappy time. So you guys can go ahead and take your long rest as you go to your dormitory. Audible will stay safely with Gabe. Less of a prison and more like talk one-on-one, just to try and figure out the truth of it all. Thus marking the end of chapter 4. So go ahead and rule that, if you need to rule your health and stuff. Yeah.
I actually somehow managed to take no damage in the last fight, somehow. It's all my amazing running away powers.
Did you also level yourself up? Because it automatically puts your HP at maximum.
It's supposed to do that, isn't it? Or is it
No.
supposed to be kind of like at it was? And actually somehow, even though I rolled a 3,
Well,
I don't know if it
typically-
automatically gives me 1, because I saw on my thing that it's actually a 21 instead of 20.
It is what
so
it
I'm
is.
assuming I
It's
get one
convenient
for
because
free.
we're long resting anyway, so I'm not going to bother fixing it. Why would I fix it?
Yeah.
It's the same end result. Continuing on with the story, in days to come, the defenders of Alderheart, you are celebrated for uncovering Oddwald's scheme and putting a stop to his creation before things got any worse. The real Mordain recovers and thanks you personally for freeing him. Provided that you continue to uphold the avian's rules or are not caught breaking them, more likely in your case, the Dean continues to welcome you, each of you, back to study, seek information in the libraries, or even teach a class if you feel like you possess the requisite skills and interest to do so.
Is there a version
Bend
of
the
like...
wind to your will.
Is there a version of like a tavern at the Avium that we can take Mordain to like celebrate his recovery?
There's like the dining hall that features like an adult section, yeah.
We should take Mordain for adult beverage.
I mean,
Pat him on the back.
potentially saving our entire existence. But sure.
In between
always
packing
time
and
for
getting
beer.
all the stuff that we needed in the next day, we take Mordain.
Oh, I guess
for
we did have a
moment.
long rest. You only have to sleep
Yeah.
for 6 hours of that.
You,
Right.
Mordain steps into your dormitory to thank you, offer to take him out for a drink, and he's like, well, I don't really know you that personally. In fact, this is the first time I ever really see you, but I will not say no to having a drink with the defenders of Alderheart. Is there
Don't
anything
worry
you
about it, Mordain. At this point, feels like we've known you forever.
We know you forever. Like you're a sexist old man. Like we know you.
Yeah.
Mordain!
But the thing
Good old
is, he
Mordain.
doesn't know that. He doesn't know that we know.
Mhm.
Exactly.
So, additionally, as a reward for uncovering Oddwald's scheme, the Dean offers you a ring of spell storing, if you're familiar with what that is.
Ooh.
Ooh, I knew that the ex-wizard would know what that is, because he literally looked up all the magic items ever. So, a ring of spell storing, store spells. It already contains a Stellar Body spell, which has been cast by the Dean himself at 5th level. Along with that, he gives you 2 potions of resistance, which grant you resistance to fire damage, brewed by his assistant, Cannon Brightspark. He hopes these will help you in the quest to save Humblewood from the Aspect's fury. So whoever's managing the party's inventory can go ahead and add that to their inventory, or manage that, whoever wants to carry those.
Who wants it?
Congo.
Do we want to just put them in the barrel for now, unless someone specifically wants them?
It's better to put them into individual...
Can you
that
put
way-
the items in chat?
Chungo should have the potions of resistance because he's most likely to get hit with fire damage since he's up close and personal.
Yeah.
Oh, that's our
Yeah, 'cause
third
on-
potion of fire. It's just
Actually, could I have one? Because
no, that's the 4th one.
Could I,
Okay.
Yep.
could I have
Oh,
one for
already?
mine? Because I do spend time on the front line, and now that I have my amazing in and out
So
skills,
since we already have 2, you and Wilkes can take one of each of the 2 we just got, because I don't know where the other 2
I don't know
are
what
at.
you're talking about. Don't touch my potions.
Anyways,
If I drink all 4 of them, do I get infinite
You're-
resistance?
infinite
You
resistance.
become the fire aspect.
Or
you
do
can
I
become
just
a
throw up
BBG.
because I drank 4 potions?
before we go, Aisling, caught up in all of the research and all of the action that's happened in the last few days, reminds herself as they prepare to go back towards the swamp and the towns of where they first began their journeys as a group, remembers to go back to see what's her name?
What is the stellar body spell? I
The
actually
Alice,
don't
the
know what that is.
Other bodies are pretty
Alistottle? Is that what it's called?
Axolotl.
I will
Axolotl?
answer questions as they come up. I'm looking at stellar bodies right now because
Yo, stellar bodies is quite the stellar spell.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good. I like it.
the Oxytotl
Laugh
is in
at
the
that joke.
laboratories in the avium. If that's what you're asking, by the way.
What's her name? What's her name?
Kenna Brightspark, the Oxytotl.
Kenna. Yeah. So Ashley goes back to where she can find Kenna and asks her if she could have a small vial of some of her bioluminescent slime.
So just like a source of light.
I have other reasons for it, but I just asked for it.
Chogo still has Wisp Lantern.
Sure, it will cost you like 5 gold pieces just to kind of compensate for reagents. She doesn't offer you anything for free anymore since you didn't pay her for all depths. She doesn't feel like trusting you with new ones. But she will gladly sell it to you for, like, it is her work, 5 gold pieces, and you can feel free to use that if you need.
Ooh.
Here's a
Sure.
description of the spell.
It's a really cool spell.
Yeah, it's pretty handy.
It's not concentration either. You just cast it and it's there.
Gotta love those non-concentration spells that just stick around. It's so good.
Oh wait. It says when you cast it at a higher level, you create an additional star for every 2 slots above 4th level. So having a 5th level one in the ring doesn't actually make it any
Doesn't
better
do
than a
anything.
4th level spell.
It
Quit.
does. It does do something for dispel magic.
For dispel, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
It does matter.
Cool.
It also like acts like with other spells as well, but I'm not gonna go over all the interactions. I agree. It's silly.
It
that
doesn't matter.
happen.
You gypped us.
Get cucked. You skipped
So
half my avium. You get the
Do I-
reward anyways. Sue me.
do we have everything we need?
I want to buy myself some armor. I mentioned asking once before if I could buy scale mail that's literally like
Druids
made of
cannot
like wizards.
Wear
Scales,
metal.
Right, I asked before if I could get scale mail that's like literally made of like scales or something
It's
like
a
Well,
that.
actually,
Scale
scale mail's
mail's
made
made
of
of
metal scales, but potentially you could make it out of an animal's scales if you had
That's what
enough.
he's asking.
Yeah.
Give me a moment.
but Go find something scaling. and kill it.
Yes, the answer is yes. I'm just looking up price
Okay.
for specialty mail. Fuck you.
I know 3.5 has a great system for like armors made out of different materials, but I'm not sure about 5e.
And 3.5 barded armor was half the price of normal armor. And then I started playing 5e and it's actually like 3 times the price of normal armor. I was like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
that's because AC, because the way AC works in 5e is much more simple. Because there's like 3 different ways to attack things in 3.5.
Yeah, and 3.5 Pathfinder.
Yeah,
Touch.
Pathfinder.
Flatfoot AC.
It's 100 gold pieces for scale mail that is not made from that is harvested from animal scales, from basilisk scales specifically from the Crest Mountains.
Is it fine if we use 100 credits, guys?
I'm fine with that.
Jungle's fine with
Yeah.
it.
Better than you getting stabbed by a fire elemental,
There's that.
or
Thank
maybe
you,
less
thank you.
stabbed.
Someone remove.
I was also looking up how much is dragon scale mail, but I was like, that's out of.
Oh boy.
That's
Just
a
Kills
lot.
an ancient dragon, just
When
has
you-
one scale.
So when you say credits, do you mean from our Elder Heart credits, or do you mean from our
Yeah.
gold?
From the
Alright,
Elder
okay.
Hearts.
300 GP credits left. Woohoo!
Okay. That's that. You bought your glowing ooze, which is essentially a torchlight in liquid sticky form that you can smear on walls and use creative, however you really can come up with. Cool. Anybody else? Anything else? Cool.
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned before, if you ever wish to return to the AVM, you will keep your medallions on you. Because you didn't break any of the rules, you're permitted to return here. He grants you the sigil sequence to a secret teleportation circle within the college, as well as essentially allowing you faculty level access to campus resources. Yeah, the AVM is essentially like home to I think it's like the only teleportation circle in all of Humblewood. So unfortunately, Hunter, there's no way to teleport to and through.
Yeah, you already said that, so.
Okay.
How many days are we spending here before leaving?
I think it was just
One.
Just that one.
one-ish. Yeah.
Okay.
That
just
took
one
one day. I mean, yeah. The armor's
We're
upgraded.
efficient. We're efficient like that.
Yeah. Right. So after that day, essentially, if you wish to return to the dean's office or reconvene elsewhere, after all that shopping, after the apprehension of Oddwald Eberhard, you receive summons from the dean to convene in his office. Upon your arrival, you note Oddwald is here as well, awaiting beside the dean. Oddwald has some kind of civil bangles affixed to either of his wrists, which the dean explains are necessary to prevent Oddwald from using magic. Oddwald, in turn, speaks. Steel bag on his head, as you
It's staying.
insist on him having. I wish to pursue a lead that could reveal the location of a magical artifact Celta Borealis. It is a weapon that may seal away the aspect's energies and return it to a dormant state beneath the grove. While it may have been merely a coincidence that I stumbled upon historical accounts of this artifact, I am not convinced it exists or whether the ritual I created will work, but it is the only thing I can think of that might stop the aspect from continually being reborn. Dean Winsworth says, I have spoken with the council. They have granted Oddwald permission to join you in order to follow up on this lead. He is to stay within your sight at all times until the aspect of fire has been dealt with. Afterwards, Oswald must be brought to Elderheart for trial and sentencing. Do we have an understanding and an agreement upon this?
Of course.
Yes.
Yes. Hopefully, we don't die or anything.
I hope not.
Yeah, it would be a real shame if
Lorien, you're
Oswald
still muted.
died.
Be wary,
Look
Look at
heroes.
Lorien talking in the abyss.
Oddwald's past experience as an adventurer means he knows his way around the wood. Should he attempt to
Well, with that
flee-
bag on his head.
Shame if that happened again.
Did you put like
Did we
holes in the
take
bag, or
it?
is you gonna like literally blind just following you guys?
No, we put
No,
like a beak
no
slit.
holes, just the bag.
And he's not walking. Like he walked to the cart. We put the bag on his head, and he's in the cart.
His potato sack head. Should he attempt to flee, I charge you to apprehend him at once and deliver him to Alderheart. Yada yada yada.
Of course.
Do you
Do
think?
we have any chains that we can use to like chain him to the cart?
No, I don't think that needs to be done. I'll just keep an eye on him the whole time. You know,
I'll make some chains as we're traveling just in case.
you have the capacity to mend metal at will, Wilkes.
Wait.
Some rudimentary chains.
How big is this man?
I can.
Probably about my size.
Not your size, Jungle, but
Is he the same
Smaller.
size as Pavo?
medium. He's taller. He's much taller than Pablo. Pablo's like
Oh.
tiny. He's small.
I was
Damn
gonna
small.
say another barrel goblin.
Anyways,
Not where I live.
That's true.
Now,
Shall
now
we
that
get
we're
heading?
now that we're set in the cart, before we head out and continue adventure, can we have a snack/pee break?
Go for it. No, not allowed. No pee break.
Joke's on you.
I already
already
went and got my
peed.
I feel like this is a nice
Jokes on you, I've
point
been
to like
peeing in a bottle
say.
this entire time.
I feel like
you, I'm
this is just a
drinking
natural
What do you think I'm
spot
drinking
to
right
take,
now?
Like, take like a
Glorian's
5-10
drinking right
minute
now.
break.
I mean, if it's a beer, it's basically pee. Let's be real.
Go,
Not
go,
gonna lie
Megan.
there.
Go.
Are you talking shit about Lone Star?
I figure for
What are you drinking?
everyone-
Show me what you're
Don't you
drinking.
live in America? That's pea beer.
What the hell is that?
Lone Star.
Hold
It's a
on.
good beer.
Hold on, Megan. Wait.
God, I remember watching this.
You may leave.
What did I roll? What did DM roll?
Hunter, you owe me $20.
Why do I owe you $20?
The dice have said so.
The dice did say so.
Gloria, your taste in beer is mildly mediocre.
That
That's-
sounds about right.
That's about right.
That sounds about right with beer.
Got some Stella Artois upstairs.
Oh,
for
dude,
me.
Stella smells like skunk.
Yeah,
I
it
hate
tastes
it.
like skunk as
Yeah,
well.
it tastes like skunk as well.
But
Well,
dang,
Tom, with
So-
my scrounge craft, would I be able to make some rudimentary shackles that could be like attached to his talons?
You can make any adventuring gear. It will require,
it's not
if you
really
want a more
adventuring
permanent
gear.
thing, you have to spend a whole day like working on the prototype. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's just like lasts for an hour. You can just post the whole thing in chat. Like it's all there. But yes, you can make any piece of gear
it's a-
ever.
It's a big read.
It is, and you should know it by heart by now. Wilkes has been alive for how long? 4 sessions.
Yeah, I know what it does. I was wondering, like, would shackles would cost less than 30 gold pieces, right? For sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I could like,
shackles are
write- I could
10
write in the
10
cart
10 gold
while
at
working
most, I
on
think.
things.
Yeah.
And I could write in the cart as I'm working on these items.
I'd always just wrap them up in some wire.
Yep. You,
I'm
you,
not gonna,
you
we're not gonna
start from
shackle
like
him.
simple vines and knots, and you work your way to more reinforced materials, and you use your scrounge crafting to essentially make it more and more robust till it's like decent enough, weird looking but decent functional shackles. It's the miracle of being a Mapak gift.
I'm not gonna immediately attach it to him, but just in case he does anything,
Just bag on his head.
and we need to need to apprehend him.
Well, I'm gonna if we're taking pee breaks and stuff, I might as well put a bag on his head.
yes.
Yeah, Caroline refuses to go to the store until tomorrow, so there's literally like half a block of cheese in the fridge.
Gross.
I'm like,
Why don't
Hey,
you go to the
Captain.
store?
because there's a discount for students tomorrow.
All right, that makes sense.
It's 10%, so it's almost tax, right? 'Cause
In
tax
all
is
honesty, that's worth it.
It is worth it, but like, she's used to having a diverse food, and she's like, "What are we having?" I'm like, "All we have left is salmon." Right, sorry.
Potato sack.
What do you mean have dinner every day? That's pretty normal.
What do you call the material that potato sack is made from?
Burlap. It's a burlap sack.
How did you get to the point where you only had like 2 items in your household?
Because we both moved out and moved into a new place.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's the
Ah,
beauty
Jesus.
of wireless headphones. Even though I'm not sitting down, I can hear it all.
Did you just like throw that 2 feet? Oh, okay. Stop that. This is abuse.
Tom.
I'm sorry, on Mondays I don't usually make like an actual dinner, I just eat snacks.
Do not throw the sock at me. Ow!
It's a genuinely
Where the fuck did it
interesting
go?
character. Trying to immediately. I put a sack over his head because I don't want to do cutting. Oh, it's perfect.
Oh, jeez.
Wait,
Stop
did you do, before I save the stock, did you do anything else with the sack, or just sack on his face?
Ah!
Wait, what?
Is it just a sack on his face?
Can we
Yeah,
give him
just
like
sack on his face.
Can we give him like the
We could, like,
smallest, like little tiny pinholes to see
I
through?
really don't want him to have eye holes.
We
I
They'll
can
be
don't
like-
think you
eyes.
understand
We
how
can
much.
draw eyes on the back.
Do you
I
want me
will.
to?
I agree with that
Draw
one.
eyes and mouth.
What? Draw a
Am I
smiley
drawing
face.
eyes on a smiley face on the back? Alright.
Draw like just a shitty smiley face.
We just draw a smiley face with like with like a sun stuff on it. It's like,
Yeah.
look, he's already recovering from his necrotic ways. He's already-
I
He's-
love not necromancy's written on it.
Ah,
the rehabilitation is beginning.
so horrible.
Oh, my beautiful boy. Megan back yet?
Yes, she's here.
Save as export as PNG. Upload token. Happy? Just what you want?
Caroline's giving me sass for leaving.
By the way, out
food
of
in the
character,
pot and
literally
not putting
the
it
only
somewhere.
reason I'm being so apprehensive towards this guy is just because Wilkes is a druid. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
If Nevitz was still alive and like the only thing he cares about is just eating tasty things, having shiny stuff, whatever, like this dude literally could just give Nevitz a few shiny coins and would have been like, yeah, I'm
Nevitz is
happy
like,
with him. He would have been like, yeah, I'm happy with him.
I love it.
Scary man gets me shiny coins. Scary man good. But Nevitz is not here, so we're playing Wilkes now.
Yeah, Nevitz is fucking dead. Gone.
Oh.
Reduce. Reuse.
What happens when you roll shitty stats for your character?
That's what happens when you get whacked in the face. Get down.
I tried running away to no avail.
I know the pain of getting stabbed while being on the floor.
I remember that. I'm still so upset about Mork's death.
What's happening?
Reminiscing
Yeah,
about Mork's death
reminiscing.
as he 1v1 the mini boss while 5 people get taken out by a tiger.
We're being
yeah,
sad
Mork.
about our dead characters.
Stop throwing things at me, homie.
You back, Trent?
I'm back. My only death was becoming a god.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
And would you really call that a death?
No, because he was still alive.
Yes.
Alright. So, before we venture forward, I just want to check in with you guys. Before we leave the AVM, you should be armed with the knowledge about the terrifying and deathless nature of the aspect of death, but also have a sort of a clear view of its weaknesses. Do we all agree on that?
It's with the
Resurrect
ice magic.
Ice thing will slowly
Pokemon
bring
battle.
everything back.
Okay.
Store
You know,
the
I had an idea though. We're worried about
Kaiju
like
fight.
if we can't like seal them away so they don't get big. Couldn't we just like take all the people who've died and make those big skelly boys and just like block them in a crypt and they just siphon the essence out of it and keep it small for eternity?
You absolutely could.
Shut up,
Yeah.
Baghead. You can't do that.
You know how
You
many
have a
dead
bag
bodies,
over
you
your
know how many
head.
skeletons probably exist
The
In-
Windowth
in this
dies
forced row?
from a heart attack.
Anyways,
I'm like,
who's
Once my
who's
fucking
singing the
mom-
music on who's singing the music for the first day trip?
Jungle pulls out his drum.
There we go.
Have a
Go, Brenda. Forward. To the other side of the continent.
How good is jungle drumming?
Drumming. Why are we drumming?
Why do you
Jungle
have a
drum.
0?
Because I have 0 charisma.
Why do you need charisma? Use the drum.
To be good at drumming.
Performance.
Okay, fine. I'll do true. I have +2 to jungle drumming.
Just punch a drum.
Guess what I was gonna do? Jungle drums. Jungle does a little bit better with his full force headbutt.
Cool.
Why was before it was a +5 and now it's a +6?
I
What's the change?
switched from charisma to strength.
Oh. He's just banging on. He's just banging as hard as he can. It actually sounds better than when he was
Yeah.
trying to make the rhythm.
Exactly.
You need
Jungle only knows one way.
a new party marker. There we go.
Do-do, do-do.
Is that bad, kid?
Yes.
Very nice.
Selling
It's
up your
probably one
mounts.
of my favorite parts of the story so far.
Readying your cards, you set onto the road, leaving the evening behind you to the drum beat of jungle. It will take you the better part of a day to reach the crossroads over yonder on your cart as you set for camp. Expedited. You may either roleplay between yourselves, talk to Oddwald if you wish to, or we can just move on. It's your choice.
I occasionally during the travels make remarks as I like gesture to the nature around us and say, "See how much better this smells than your laboratories you had downstairs."
We seem to
I'm
have
sure
gotten
he
on the
likes the
wrong
taste
foot here.
well.
I'm not disagreeing with you that nature. I'm trying to save all this. I know greenery smells good. I'm from Brackenmill, a farming village right over yonder. He points eastward. I
Hang
know
on a
did you
what I'm
see?
second.
saving.
How do you know which way is east?
I can feel the sun's heat, and I can turn my head to see where it sets. There
squint
are
my eyes
pores
at
in
him.
this sack.
Damn it. Jungle needs to find a better sack. to
You know
put
what?
it
I think I'm ruling as the wrong person. Ebenhard.
Hey, get out of here.
in. Gabe's trying to figure out which way is east.
It's 2. Apparently, directions have numbers.
He points east flawlessly. Fuck you. What you gonna do about it?
Jungle squints his eyes and says, "Fine,
Double back.
the dice have spoken."
Think I
Lucas
don't know
kind
what
of-
this is.
Nods
As we
to
go
him.
along,
Lucas kind of nods to himself like, "Okay, it was east."
You think I came so far, risen so high to where I am at, not knowing the cardinal directions?
Lucas, enough of your teasing of poor Ebenhard. And
Just making
Ashley
sure.
kind of
that
Ashley kind of bursts him aside and kind of like sits down beside Ebenhard and be like, "So tell me about Susan. Tell me about your adventures with Susan."
Jungle
Kind of gives him
slows
like a
down
bit of a
hearing
high
gossip.
kind of gives him like a bit of a high brow and like a
He can't see
nudge,
your
nudge.
expressions, so it doesn't matter to him. He's in the fucking potato sack.
I give him a little
Jungle
nudge
likes
nudge as well.
high
Like I
school
kind of
drama.
like I kind of give him like a nudge nudge like shoulder to shoulder being like so, and also with intention in the voice, right? Being like, "So Emma, you're with Susan. What's up with that?"
I used to be young once, just like anyone else. I fell in love. I was an adventurer like you. Until I
Did
pursued.
you take an arrow?
No,
Well, he
And,
did recently, actually.
It's true.
that came later.
And is that love unique to youth or does it still have an ember?
I don't
know
think
not.
that.
I haven't spoken to Susan Riffin in years, and quite frankly, I should revisit them sometime. Apologize for all that's occurred.
Also, slight poor choice of words. Ember, there's fire monsters.
My apologies, Chungo. You're right. Poor choice of
Chungo's okay
words.
with it. Chungo likes play on words.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Susan ever since I left Alderheart a few weeks ago.
No, we helped Susan summon a demon.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear she's still as kick-ass as ever.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to seeing her?
Sure. I mean...
Is
I'll
Susan
have to
still at
face my
her
demons.
house? That's where we're going?
Yeah, we're going to the muck field.
Susan's hut?
I mean, last I saw
Or
Susan,
did-
she was in Alderheart setting up her shop. I would imagine
Oh,
that's
that's
where we're
right.
traveling.
Okay, awesome.
No. She lives in her hut? Does she not?
Pretty sure we saw her in the city just before we left.
Yeah, I think
because
so.
Did we?
She's yeah.
I think so.
I can't remember.
No, it's been like 6 weeks, but still.
Well, I mean, it's on the way,
Oh,
so
I don't know. I can only guess she's in the Alderheart because that's where I last saw her when the bandits attacked and I fled.
How many years ago was that?
That was the bandit attack on Alderheart whenever he
young go. Are you? Oh right.
So like 30 years ago?
You
Damn.
nailed it. We're all gonna die.
Chungo not dead yet. Chungo also beat up your giant skeleton thing.
Speaking of giant skeletons, turns his head
We'll beat up
roughly in your
another one.
direction. Can I use yours when you're done with it?
Yeah, sure.
Alright.
It's only fair donating my body to science.
To science. And other things.
Oh, seeing as I couldn't manage to get any real gossip out of Ebonheart, I kind of go back to the front seat and sit next to Chungo.
Chungo
I
walking
know.
next to Brenda.
Oh, you're walking next to Brenda. Why are you walking next to Brenda?
But
you were
why doesn't
drumming.
she have to carry him.
Oh, so that Brenda feels fine and dandy where she's walking. She feels happy.
Okay. I get off the cart and I walk on the other side of Brenda from where Chungo is, and I kind of like
Chungo gave
haphazardly
good
kind
pets
of
to Brenda.
Brenda
kind of just like
in toward the
plays
pets,
with-
and the cart begins to like swivel out of the road slowly. And
As she moves like that, I pet the other side of her head.
Yeah, she maneuvers back.
I keep
Hey,
doing that.
just see the zigzags.
Do we still have Flare?
She
Oh,
she
good.
likes to hang out on I kind of like the withers fluffy spot on Brenda's back.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast Speak with Animals and see how Flare and Brenda are doing.
Remember, you did like
So-
a generic black dance.
Yeah. Oh, I remember. So,
Oh, Flare!
I was wondering when you go like talk to me again. I was like, just sitting here bored. So,
Well, we caught a necromancer.
yeah,
Yeah.
shit's fucked.
Yeah. What do you?
Do you understand it? You're a bat.
Yeah, dude, I saw the skeletons. Shit was spooky. Hey, you can't talk to me. Get out of here.
Chungo was wondering if you understand that you're a bat.
I'm a what? Damn.
You don't have thumbs.
Damn.
How does it make you feel?
I mean, I got these, and extends what bats have for thumbs. which are
Bats
like
do have a thumb.
I guess
elongated.
bats do have a really long
A really
thumb.
long thumb.
He can give you like the longest thumbs up right now.
Actually, technically the thumbs are at the bottom. They're like way down here. Like
Shut up,
At the
nerd.
bottom.
I
Yeah,
don't
they
speak to
do.
animals.
Some of them do have those little weird nookie stabbies
sure.
on their wings, but yeah, they do have. Like,
yeah,
the
but that's
weird
like their
long-
index finger. Like the one out
Oh,
there,
I
it's like their
guess that's
index
a
finger, whereas like
technically, yeah.
because it's
The
like that.
amber
So like the
bat
thumb
knows
would
it's
be
a
like
bat.
down there.
A lot of the bats have it at the top. The nub up the top is their thumb.
Is it at the top? I can never remember if the bones go this way or if they go that way.
It
They
goes
go-
I know
like a
they-
normal
they go-
person,
they
and
go
then
down.
spread
know.
your fingers out, and that's where the webs come out.
Yeah.
And then the thumb is the top.
Tom,
Sup?
are there any birds in the area that have come from the direction of the Scorched Grove or near it?
I mean, yeah, there's birds coming from the direction of west here in the ancient woods. Yeah.
Awesome. I'd like to see if any of them saw where the elemental was last seen.
Quickly
What's up,
connect
Papa?
to
Where's your
the-
where's your giant
I
bird
can
friend?
only address one thing at a time, so let's do that. Quickly,
where's your
talking
giant
to
bird
the birds, you would understand that those fleeing from the giant thing, saw it move from the Scorched Grove, and it has since moved like north of Alderheart, and is only approaching closer.
Lovely. What giant bird friend? You mean the bird wolf? The
Yeah.
the hawk
Yeah.
wolf?
Where to go?
I don't know. Ask Tom. I'm assuming
She was
she's
in the
just
stables this entire time, and you took her with her. You're riding her right now, I would assume.
Yeah.
She's yours to command.
yeah.
Cool.
She's
I just wanted to
sure.
double check where she was. Just like you wanted to know where Blair was, I wanted to know where. I don't remember her name. I remember it was complicated to say.
Of Scranz.
Can-
Of Scranzi? Oh god, fuck. I forget how to pronounce it.
If you go to like on your roll 20 and you go like your as
Adristi.
the name should be there.
A Scrandi.
It's grande.
A Scrandi.
Chungo looks over at Aisling as she's walking up. What up? I'm giving
Walking
pets
along.
to Brenda's both sides of her head, so she goes forward.
So
As
she
I
goes straight.
as I look at Aisling.
So we go slightly left of the drunken path. Just,
Well,
just
Pavo's
contemplating
gonna
it.
curl up in a ball and just smoke a blunt, hit his pipe, be happy.
Nice. I kind of look around Brenda's nose as Tango inquires. And I kind of just look around and I'm kind of like, still, even though it's been weeks, I still think of Nevitz every now and again. And I remember all the little things and all his little cute quirks, and I love shiny things.
Yeah, stealing my money,
He did not steal his money!
robbing
Yeah.
his
This
corpse.
person sounds really immature.
It was a
think he
little
was, like,
douchebag.
3 years old. He stole all of
Stealing
my money.
from everyone.
He literally stole a huge ass diamond.
He stole
one of the
$30.
And $30.
Oh,
Which we
he's a
haven't
child.
paid back yet.
I just assumed he was another adult.
No,
Nevitz
an
was
orphan child.
Nevitz was so adorable. He was my sweet little dove, and he was gone way too fast.
Although
helped bring the
Nevitz
bandits
almost
together.
killed like 5 people though, so mad respect to the child.
Yes, mad respect to the one who could do a single spell and wipe out the whole map and make our DM crazy because he's like, "You're skipping."
You, Yeah,
Fighters
Jungle
can
gets somber.
fighters can do the same thing too sometimes.
It's always a shame when children die early.
Yeah, I mean he kind of ran headfirst into a fire elemental, like literally
No, it was
into it.
It wasn't the fire elemental that killed him; it was the bats.
fire bat.
Oh, it's the fire bat ball. Right. My memory doesn't serve me right.
Basically, he was swarmed by he was attacked by a
300
swarm of flares, basically.
Yeah.
The jungle was too far.
He was
to
covered in bite marks. He was pretty mangled
Actually-
looking.
I didn't know the police were
Technically,
dangerous.
Flare was a part of that attack, but he didn't know what he was doing.
Well, I mean,
It was
no,
hive mind.
Flare was very like, ooh, shiny, very much Nevitz in that.
He
Blair
was-
was,
he was-
also like,
he was
hey,
hive
stop hurting my
mind.
friends, please.
Yeah.
Hive-minded. Wasn't his fault.
Speaking of hive-minded, nap time. Eh.
I hope he doesn't wake up.
Not asleep
See-
yet, you fat
see-
oaf.
Seeing that
Trevor
flare,
just looks
see-
at Pablo and just like, it should have been you.
given our rather somewhat leisurely pace, I take out my jar of sticky insect attractant and I open it and I rest it kind of like on the crest of Brenda's shoulders, neck, because it's so
Little
broad.
Brenda's
It's so broad.
Please.
And yeah, it's so broad. And I put it there, and as the insects attract and to like give Flair a good lunchtime.
Already in the evening sun, it's the setting sun, the mosquitoes are already out and already sticking to the thing. Flair has a feast. Right.
Hey, you necromancy boy.
You turn to him while you guys were conversing. You turn. He looks at the.
He's gone.
He looks toward the
I'll
sun.
show you guys an RP.
Yeah. Looks toward the sunset in distant west, and you see the sack is off his head and isn't down.
Hey,
He's just reflecting.
I look over at Wilkes to see if he notices the bag missing off his head.
I'm keeping a close eye on this guy. As soon as the bag is removed, I'm like, hey, what do you think you're doing?
Wow, you looks like you missed it. It's already up.
You.
Let
Let
him
him
rub
have
it.
let him have this moment. Let him watch the sunset.
This could be the man's last sunset.
Doubt it.
Fine.
I think we have a couple more days in our journey.
I mean, you never know. A falling tree branch.
Falling tree?
A falling tree.
Why would a branch kill the guy?
I don't know. Maybe it's a
Maybe
big
you,
branch.
but like,
He's a
Listen,
necromancer. He's not
I'm
exactly known for.
more evil than you think.
You know,
you
there's
literally
more to
been
me
talking
than just
about having a day left of
necromancer.
life.
You keep saying that word, that title, as if it's a curse.
I
It is.
suppose you did say you were a master of
You-
all fields of magic.
You are more than a druid. More than a tender. There's more to you than meets the eye. Why not give me that same respect?
Magic
kind of
people,
let
stupid
myself
magic.
I kind of stop for a moment and I wait for the cart to go by until I get to where Wilkes is in the cart, and then I kind of give him like a little like tap on the shoulder / head and being like, come on, give him a minute, let him watch the sunset.
Okay.
Griffin always liked sunsets.
Oh.
Have you not been listening? Susan, Griffin, my old adventuring party.
I don't know that second name.
Oh, sorry, you haven't mentioned Griffin yet.
Yeah, you haven't mentioned him
That's Susan.
Tell us about it. We're on
young
this big path of walking and reminiscing.
Come on, story time.
I will
Monologue.
Gosh.
Vince, it can be a dialogue if you cut me. If you cut me, please. He evinces a combination of relief and sorrow. I mean, he and I, we were once adventurers who traveled Humblewood together. I was staying with Riffin in Ashbarrow when the fires claimed it. And I helped the people evacuate, but during the chaos, a building collapsed and seriously injured Riffin. I saved his life and brought him to Elderheart. However, with the burden of knowing that I was responsible for the very fires that destroyed Griffin's home, I couldn't bear to stay. It was then I resolved to find a way to correct my mistakes by any means necessary. It seems that all I've succeeded in doing is hurting others. I should have asked for help. Perhaps I could have, Perhaps I couldn't accept the idea that it wasn't possible to quell the aspect alone.
Chunko nods at his fight against pride.
Yeah, my own selfish pride as a chosen son of Ebonheart is to blame. I am truly sorry for the way I acted towards you all.
I flick a peanut at him for being cocky.
I deserve that.
You had 1 point and then you got rid of it.
I mean,
Hey, you better put that on the camera. That's what I thought.
Can you see her?
Ah, yes. Get face kisses.
Lulu.
Puppy
Lulu.
cam.
Look at the. She just wants to lick. She's no look.
Get her, lick her, let her lick your face. Give her a kiss. You wimp.
You were a coward.
You coward. You won't let the dog's tongue accidentally get inside your mouth and then you have to
Oh,
spit.
No.
Okay. Someone
She-
needs to calm down about dogs' tongues in their mouth because
It's just funny because whenever
wait.
you're face to face with the dog, you say one word and they just kiss you and you're just like, damn it!
Did
I
you
was trying
let
to speak,
Uma?
damn it.
Did you let Uma do that to you?
No.
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 Hypocrite.
She didn't go to my
Hypocrite.
face. Not a hypocrite because my fucking dog does it all the time. You know Barrett, Tom?
Yep.
He really likes licking fucking faces.
Yep.
Well, perfect timing. I'll be back, boys. I have to go pick up the drink from the front door.
I'll be sleeping and Lulu just like jumps on my bed, starts licking my face. Like, okay, I guess I'm awake now.
Was there more story time?
yeah, but I'm gonna wait
Uh,
for Trent to come back. I mean, from the way he describes Griffin, you realize that you've met him before.
Griffin. I heard Griffin.
Oh, I heard Griffin as well, as in like the creature.
Yeah. The G. I didn't think that Griffin was that old. He looked so much younger.
He
Ah,
looks like a child.
okay, I honestly thought he said Griffin,
My fault.
not
See?
Griffin. Ah, shit. Does that mean that he went looking for Oswald? Remember he said he was looking for one of his old friends?
I don't remember that, honestly.
I do. No, I remember it.
I missed that episode.
I probably wasn't paying
Oh,
attention.
yeah, it's literally right there in his notes. I don't know where it could be at by now.
Evitz wasn't really paying attention to anything that didn't concern him or wasn't interesting to him.
Yeah, it says a traveling knight of the realm. Griffin lived in Ashenborough before its destruction and was carried to Elderheart by his friend Oswald, who saved him from the fire.
Hey Oswald,
Yep.
are you interested in seeing one of your old friends again?
I mean, I would give anything for that, yeah?
Allow me to find a bird that might wish to assist for a small scrap of food. Perhaps they can find Griffin.
I mean,
He's looking for you.
you can do that. I have a idea of where he might be.
Perfect. I can send a bird and we can give a description of Griffin for it.
If not in Alderheart, if he's not there anymore,
I
And
believe he
he-
left.
he would be in Brackenmill in our old haunt where we used to stay.
Okay. I guess today I'll do another speak with animals, and I'll find a bird who is willing to help potentially, and I'll give it some food
Sure.
as
You can,
payment,
you can act as a little scout for food
Yep.
and just
and
force the kindness. Yeah.
tie a little missive onto its ankle,
Sure.
and yeah, give a description of Griffin, where Oswald assumes Griffin will
can't.
probably be.
Read, but like, are you,
Griffin can read.
Yeah. Are you saying a
Yeah,
description of Griffin?
Yeah, I'm sending a hey Griffin.
Shoulders
We're
back.
heading. We found Oswald, Ebonheart. We are going to Elderheart. Meet us there if you wish to see him. We're
He
going
does,
to
he told us
save
he
the
was looking
world.
for him.
Exactly. And then
Also, I
I'll
love how
tie
you
that.
always have to add going to save the world.
Yes, going to save the world with Oswald.
Should be flicking peanuts at you for being a.
You have to sign it.
Cockney.
You have to
And
sign
in
it,
the
old
nest of-
bird.
And yes, and I sign it as Old Bird.
Mhm.
And off it goes.
Sure. Using speak to animals, he knows where Bracknell is, for it is a farming village that attracts many a bird. It flies east. Best of luck with that. I mean, that's one way. I suppose we could travel there ourselves, or we can await word onwards to Alderheart then.
Onward.
Do I need to? And he lifts the burlap sack to. I'll just. Alright.
I'll say no.
Oh, well, I mean,
I do love that smiling face. Chungo
Anyway.
does love.
I guess we'll head for Alderheart then, unless we want to go to Brecon Mill. But I assume Griffin will probably be able to meet us at Alderheart in a day-ish.
Hmm. To Susan.
Susan.
Skip. Susan's here. Right. Led by Oswald, you return to Alderheart's trunk market. There, Oswald's old friend and former adventuring companion, Susan's of the Swamp, can be found. As you climb up the great tree steps, the old corp says, Susan's eclectic scholarship has led her to possess some esoteric knowledge. This, coupled with her unique divination abilities, means she is our best hope at finding the Borealis. You find Susan's tent in Alderheart's trunk market. It looks like she has turned some tidy profit in Alderheart with her fortune telling. And as you make your way toward her tent, she greets you warmly, fondly. Ah, but what a pleasure it is to see you all again.
I ripped the bag off his head.
My Oswald, darling, how long has it been? She embraces him in a warm welcome. Have
Chungo
you
embraces both of them.
Grabs his little bird butt.
What?
What?
Are you saying Susan's groping?
Maybe.
It's more like a sweet embrace between two elders.
You saying
Chungo
that
still
the
joins us.
elders can't have extra funds?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at those
You saying
fingers.
they don't do that every Friday in the old folks' home?
Look at Susan's
Like, come
little.
on.
I say that I don't care for that, that's all I'm saying. You guys can theater of mind whatever floats your boats.
Oh, it's floating over it.
I'm going with Susan is a little bit of a grappler.
Okay.
Look at those fingers.
I mean, look at those fingers. Look at that. Look at the eyes. Look at the
Ready?
fingers.
Butt grab.
yes.
Hey, Caroline.
All right, Chungo, let's go over the embrace so that they can continue having the hug.
I was afraid I won't get a chance to say my goodbyes before I pack up and head back to my hut in the swamp. Perhaps it is fate that you came here the way you did. I would know of such things.
Did you know, Susan?
Yeah, I totally foresaw this.
Yeah.
What
Did you
gonna
also
do?
foresee that Riven's also coming here?
Yeah, Griffin's also gonna be here, hopefully.
Oh, a reunion and a welcome one. I totally foresaw it.
And yet you forgot to clue us in?
What am I gonna do? Send a bird like they can reach you and deliver a message? Who does that? Anyway,
Speak with Anna. What blasphemy is this necromantic magic?
Druidic. I mean, it's inherited. I mean, my mother did it, my grandma before her, but that's besides the point. I specialize more in talking to bugs, and they don't fly far. But I'm glad you're here.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised, man, how far bugs fly.
I think Susan has a lot of experience with bugs, so maybe.
The monarch butterfly can literally fly the spans of
migrate.
America.
I mean, I'm sure there's
And
bigger
they only
threats.
live like 1 week.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They
How-
do it in 1
How
week.
poetic is their lives, and how fleeting is time?
That they travel halfway.
That's DM
across the
speak for. Go on the story.
Anyways, Susan, Oswald, Susan. Anyways, we're all here.
Yes,
Chuggo has a question.
I have answers.
Chuggo looks around to see if anyone's like really close by and listening.
I am
I am.
literally
Hello.
in Chungo's bucket,
Hello.
listening.
Whatever
Probably.
happened to that demon?
Oh, I mean, like, I sent backwards. I think I'm gonna keep it with me. I won't do that. I won't keep it with me. I won't keep it. I won't bring it to the
listen.
city or anything.
As I listen for any noises.
I would like to roll.
Scratches in one of the nearby faces.
I would like to roll insight into Susan's words.
I mean, like, she's clearly nervous and she's nudging toward one of the nearby faces. It seems to be rattling weirdly and just like scrapping noise coming out of it. I wouldn't bring it into the city. I wouldn't do that. I mean, like, I would get into so much trouble if anybody found out.
Susan, what the fuck is that in the jar?
What jar?
Berries.
Berries,
Scratchy-
that
scratchy
makes
berries.
sound.
Very volatile berries. I use in my potions.
Ah. Chuggo is fine with that knowledge.
High calorie count. It means that quite energetic berries.
Oh, high calorie.
What-
Pavo motions to go grab the jar to open it and eat the high calorie count berries.
You get like your beak scratched out by the pink fuzz demon with an. She
Well,
just like puts like both her like paws on it, like come on. What are you, a narc? Like
You're gonna let us take the jar with us?
no.
Take the monster in a jar with us?
I need him.
What do you need
We're
him for?
bonding.
What does that mean? He could be useful on our quest.
Why don't we just take Susan with the demon barrel?
Your quest.
Anyways,
That could be arranged.
What quest is this? I know all the answers and I've foreseen everything and I know all the answers. But what quest
Oswald
is this?
says you can use your seer powers to find the Borealis, a legendary weapon from the ice elemental that can help us stop the fire elemental
very
from
sharp.
killing us all into the world.
Shard,
Yeah, it's a
not
shard.
weapon.
I mean, pointy thing, stabby, weapon.
Yeah. Oddworld kind of helps you out. He clears his throat and goes, "Yes, indeed. I'm afraid, but catching up will have to wait. Time's of the essence, indeed, and we need your help in seeking that thing of great power." I mean, Susan will perform the ritual if you so allow her. As for the monster, I mean, she really, really wants to keep it. Do you really, really want to have it with you?
No.
It
I
is-
think Susan should
I
hang
am
on
willing
to
to
the
part with it, but it requires a special amount of care. It is yours if you truly need it for
I-
the greater
I
of the
think-
Let's hear what you have to say first, and then we'll figure it out.
Sure.
Chungo only wants to deal with one little monster in this party, and that's Pavo.
I mean, you'll probably have an easier time with that thing than with him. But
Hey,
hey, you! Come
What
here.
is he
Come
like?
into my tent. Come into my tent. Have some smoke, some fumes,
What?
some weird witch fumes in my tent. Come here.
what? I'm already in the
Man,
tent.
I thought we were in a building.
Come into my inner tent. The tent inside my tent.
I have
They want
come into
containing the
tent.
fumes.
I'm in the fume tent.
Let's
We go to the fume room.
Let's go get hotbox. The hedge witch circles her snail cauldron in the center of his tent, picking a handful of hanging herbs and small dissected creatures from around her tent, and just kind of plopping them into the brew. Her beetle familiar, Normal, assists her in the task as well, as it drops a shriveled tentacle into the cauldron. Susan chuckles and goes, "Starfish, for visions as clear as midsummer's night." The witch mutters an incantation over the brew, and then, satisfied with her work, she grabs a ladle and portions out a bit of liquid, blowing it cool, before offering you a sip. Any of you.
Okay, sip.
Go. You watch as Pavo's pupils dilate until his eyes turn black. You They appear to like contain like stars and constellations within, and for a moment, you, Pavo, seem to feel yourself drift far away to a far away place.
The wind, guy.
I don't
Anyway,
think
let's
anything
get it done with the ritual. I just want to like step me out. No, I'm just kidding.
I think that's his normal Pavel
Yeah.
run.
This is drugs. This is just for fun.
It's fine. He'll be fine. That's normal.
Pavo, you get a vision. This. Oh, and what a vision it is. So many possible futures that just kind of are hard to keep track as they kind of buzz by you. You see a great power being kept in check by another, an endless dance of fire and ice. And as you come out of it, you see Susan before you. Yes, you saw it too. I can see it in your eyes, the Borealis. It wants to be united with the flames. It is barred behind a door of cinder, to which only the tenders have the key, and you now know the way toward. To reach it, one must find this. And she kind of points toward a piece of paper hanging on a wall that she, for some reason, has already prepared. You look, and she shows you a leaf. That looks like this. Can I... Part 5. It's in part 5, isn't it? Yes, it is. I just have to skip through all the stuff that we already skipped.
Leaf with
This is
water
a
on it.
sprig of skyleaf. It would be the key to accessing the Borealis. The artifact still rests in Humblewood, but beyond this, I'm not sure. You'll have to follow Pavo to see the path.
Yay, senile old man time.
Still
Wilkes,
starry-eyed.
do you know
You really have to
anything?
follow him.
I go
Wilkes, do you
find
know anything about this?
You can have some
leaf?
of this stuff too. I mean, it will rock your
No.
world.
Skyleaf.
Megan was there. Ashling was questioning Wilkes.
Yeah, Wilkes, as a tender, do you know of this key that they're referring to?
Tender Legends.
Or do we need
I love
to-
doing this. Being dictionary through you. Tender Legends do tell of the Borealis. Not by that name, but the artifact now kind of sort of the pieces coming together. That makes sense that it's being spoken about the same artifact. Signs would point you toward like. Let's do this more interesting. I don't want to be your dictionary. You would know that your superiors would know more about this. How about that? Like tenders in the avian would probably know that. Because otherwise I'm going to be speaking for like Wilkes, and it's like I don't want to play for him.
Can we go see? Is the like pigeon guy still in town?
There are many pigeon guys in town.
The pigeon tender?
Yeah,
I believe
the
she's referring to
messenger?
the one we helped.
Is he still in town?
Oh yeah, the one that we helped.
And the one that came with
That
us.
made us fight the ash snakes.
Yeah.
We met him when we went to talk to the council.
Like Havel and Teva?
Yeah, I think
The
so.
Luma tender? Yeah. He's
Yes.
Luma.
they would still be in they'll still be in town in the tender headquarters.
There are other tenders that I could lead us towards. People of higher rank.
Yeah, but those guys are losers. We know these guys. I'm kidding.
I'm up to meet new people. Wilkes, show us the way. Unless wait. Susan, is there any more that we should know before we leave?
I've harvested skyleaf before. I know it grows in the northwest part of Humblewood, about 3 hours walk from Outer Heart.
Wait, northwest. The northwest is the Scorched Grove.
Not that far, but perhaps on the edge of it.
It kind of has to grow where there's a living tree, you know.
I suppose it could be
Makes
some
sense.
weird. It could be some weird tree that like lives
Well,
in
actually,
a desolate thing.
I think Osgrande might be able to assist in that. I believe I
Grande.
found her around the northwest. Perhaps she's seen a tree.
With wing-looking leaves.
With a regal
I
nod,
mean-
she agrees that she can help. Not verbally, but, understanding some context.
Should we go see Wilkes's people?
Can we see? Oh, Susan, before we go,
Yeah.
do you have any special items for sale?
I have my potions still, and I offer divination.
Are you still a narc?
I might. Yeah, are you still a narc?
No. Never was. You and Eric?
No.
Oh, does
Good.
she have? Since we're trying to find something that's very icy, do you think for the party it'd be wise that we actually have like a potion of like ice resistance? Because maybe
I think
like
it said it was protected by a wall of cinder.
Yeah. We have lots of
Chungo
fire
knows what
resistance
she's
already, but what if we have to have some kind of resistance to handle it in the cold? What if it like
Oh.
freezes us instantly when we touch it?
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Just grab the cinders then.
I can sell you potions of resistance. I have those aplenty.
You think we should get
If-
one?
If ice is too cold, grab cinder, then grab ice.
So you would just freeze and burn at the same time? Idiocy?
Chungo looks confused for a second. You're probably right. Chungo knows what Chungo needs to go buy. Chungo will be back.
Cool.
Is Chungo going to
Chungo's going to buy like a pair of tongs.
Damn it, Hunter, you can actually read my mind.
Hey.
I know
was gonna
exactly what you're thinking, like the
dowsing
thing
device.
from Homer that he uses to pick up a vial, right?
Yeah.
Chungo
on
buys
board.
the dowsing
I'm on board.
rods.
I'm good. I'm on board with Chungo. That sounds like a good idea. Probably cheaper too.
I
Also,
sniffed the bag of sniffing.
Oh yeah, the
When-
bag of sniffing.
When
Yeah.
Ashling says cheaper, it stinks.
Chungo will disregard bag
Oh,
and see
Susan,
how much
Susan,
dowsing rods cost.
I actually think I'll take a
Dowsing
potion.
rods?
No.
Dowsing rod is not tongs though. You realize that
Yeah,
it's not
they-
the same thing. No,
It's almost the same thing.
it's
Whatever.
not at all the same thing.
Okay, there's one where there's two
A dowsing
rods, and then
rod
with the
is
X,
like a Y-shaped stick that you hold by the two ends and then you point around. Yeah. Tongs
Yeah,
are
and then-
like
yeah, and then the X when you go near water.
they don't. It's just,
Yeah,
but bruh,
Wait,
That's one
why
of the
why
other
are you
ways,
getting
yeah.
dowsing rods to pick up the
this is
thing?
a dowsing rod.
what? No.
What?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then there's the two tongs that also, when you're walking around, if there's water, it does an X.
Oh, those weird things you hold and they like kind
You'll
of.
have to send me an image or some shit because I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. I was looking up Smith tools, and I was like, it's 20
That
gold pieces
honestly
for the whole
looks
set.
like a branch in somebody's hand.
It is.
Also, who puts their thumb over their fingers when holding something?
Witchcraft.
I
Somatic
found the
component.
picture instantly.
Okay.
I just need to actually get the.
A potion of resistance, especially for cold, will cost you. It is an uncommon potion, meaning it costs 50 gold pieces.
Dowsing rods.
All right.
We
Take
just
her to
use
the
our
account.
credit. We use our credits.
As long as you dug there, then
Thank-
go ahead and add it to your inventory. You feel free.
You're gonna have that, Pavo, in your inventory.
Oh, sure. I mean, I'm old, so I might as well pick up the potentially cancerous object. What is it?
What's
Ice.
with you?
I'm gonna take it out of the inventory. We're down to 250 gold
Potion.
credits.
But I'll also
Resist.
just buy a normal dowsing rod.
Yeah, we can go visit the blacksmith dude
Sure.
for that.
How much is a dowsing rod?
5 silver pieces.
And
I can make one.
Oh, there you go.
Or we could just buy one.
okay,
Anyways,
make one, make
Um,
one, and then I'm gonna
I-
look at the other. I'm gonna compare.
I have an
Hunter,
idea.
where did you tell Riffin to meet you guys in Elderheart?
Elder.
Probably Susan's place. So the trunk
Okay.
market.
Cool. We'll say that.
Does he know where Susan's place is?
I'd say meet us at the entrance to the trunk market coming from the bottom of the tree.
Did you tell Oldwald this?
Why would Oswald need to know this?
Then he didn't tell him. Okay.
Well, I mean, he was
No,
right
you're,
there.
you're absolutely correct. Then never mind then.
I mean, he's with us.
Yes.
Good.
Do you even hear the story?
What?
It's fine. Don't worry about it. We're moving on. You guys shop for.
I don't
for resistance?
understand Is there something
There's-
I don't understand here? I'm very confused.
Yes.
Oh no.
Are you actually confused about the relationship between Ebonheart and Riffin?
I am confused of why Ebonheart needs to know that
He doesn't.
Griffin was.
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't need to know. I'm just asking if he does. That's it.
Were they vying for her love? But also, didn't Ebonheart save Griffin? I figured they would be good friends.
They are, from what he spoke. Yeah.
Good.
Cool. Yeah.
Good.
Yep. All right. So, anything else while Wilkes is crafting those rods?
I had an idea.
Mhm.
Me and Oskrandi could go out to the northwest and look for the leaf.
Sure. You want to go on a solo mission? Yep.
And you guys can try to talk to some higher ups in the tenders
Yeah.
and be like, listen, bitch, we know about the existence of this. We know where it's at.
NPCs. They haven't done anything. Listen here. You cunt. Like,
Listen.
Listen here, you useless democratical man.
Chungo's
in
gonna ask a question of can Chungo
bureaucracy.
grab Borealis with hands?
I would
Real quick, what do we want
imagine
from
you
this?
would, says Ebonheart. I mean, it was wielded before, but I only have theory. I don't even know if it exists.
Yeah, Chungo can freeze. We'll grab it.
The potion will
Real
help.
quick,
It's good thinking.
I'll get another one.
Maybe wear a thick glove, Chungo. If your skin doesn't touch it, you're
You're
not
outta here.
technically holding it. I'm on my way out the door. Goodbye.
I think Chungo. I think we should go see the blacksmith. Let's go see the
real quick,
blacksmith.
what do we want from the tenders? I zoned out before.
The location. Wait, do I know where it's at? Or do I
Ashley
just
had questions for the tenders, I think. Right?
Hmm?
Megan, you had questions for the tenders? You asked a question that was
Yeah.
like, I don't want Wilkes to answer because like he doesn't, because it's not part of his backstory.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we should definitely go see the tenders, but I think that we should get
Because-
we should go visit the
Because
we should go visit the blacksmith.
wait, why do you want to see the tenders?
Why either? Yeah, that's what we're asking.
Because we want to know about the key.
I'm going to get the key.
I need a bit
Because
more context.
because in the tale it said that there's a key that only the tenders know.
Leaf.
It's
That's
the
the
leaf.
Okay.
Leaf.
That's the leaf.
That's
Yeah,
what
but
Hunter's
maybe
going to get.
maybe the tenders can give us more information.
Hunter's
Okay.
wolf knows about it.
Potentially. Also, I mean, I live in a tree half the time. Like, it turns
But I
out I've
would-
been smoking this the
I
whole
would
time,
like to.
and I never told anybody.
I would like to learn how to use the leaf as a key.
It is that.
That's all.
It is the key.
It is the key. it's like Dorothy in like the Wizard of Oz. You always had the key on you the entire time. You just smoked last of it. It's like shit.
Core. We have to go see.
How high of a
We
rank
should
within
go
the
see.
tenders would
We
someone
should go
need
see
to know this?
Core.
Sorry, I didn't hear either. I'm sorry. What? One time.
Wilkes.
Either of you, yeah.
How high of a rank within the tenders would someone need to know would someone need to be to know where the leaf is?
I mean, Susan knows, and she's not a tender. They grow. Skyleaf grows, and you would notice just from your survival and stuff. They
Wait.
grow in high places, close
Wait,
to
so
this sky.
why
Yeah,
are we
what?
asking about the leaf if we know where the leaf is supposed to be growing
'Cause
around?
Megan thinks
My
we can get more
question-
information.
I
Okay.
think
My
we should get more
question is
information
how
because
to use the leaf as a key.
Yeah, I agree
I
with
think that's
Chungo.
what Megan was going for. Ashley's going for.
Like what it would like we know that it's a key,
Okay.
but does it require a spell, a ritual, an actual place
So,
it
so
needs
let
to
me
be?
just review real quick what I sort of like went over. Maybe I glazed a little too quickly, and we missed because I'm pretty sure I said it.
I'm pretty sure I remember you went in my vision. I know where it's at.
The
and I know
Borealis
the
wants to
path
be
to
united
it.
with the flames. It is barred behind a door of cinder, to which only the tenders have the key. To reach it, you must find this. She showed you the leaf. The vision showed a sprig of skyleaf that would be the key to accessing the Borealis. The artifact still rests in Humblewood, but beyond this, I am not sure, she says. Signs point me toward the tenders living here in Alderheart, who hold the second key to the Borealis resting place. What the fuck? Skip that.
I'm sorry. Three of that. I'm sorry. So the leaf is the key to
The
get
leaf is
the
the key.
key.
The leaf is a key. I don't know why I just read it. I'm not sure why that's there. That's a
And
mistake.
and
And
Pavo's
and she
vision
to-
is gonna lead us there.
Yeah, Pavo knows where it's at because he kind of saw it in his vision, where it's like in the northwest regions, essentially
Oh, okay.
using Susan's ritual.
Good then.
And he offered
So
to go on
we're-
a solo mission, which works fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys are trying to find the location of the wall of cinder.
Okay, we got Pavo
Because
for
the
that.
tenders
Pavo and
know-
his star eyes.
Where that's at.
Yes, but now that we've revised everything, and because I think it kind of got all muddled with all of our stuff that we were doing,
I know
that
what I'm
we-
doing.
Star eyes. Star eyes will lead us there.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's go visit. So let's go visit Core instead of the tenders.
Sure. Core is a blacksmith. Still works much happier than before. Now that he has his stock back. What is you seek from Core?
Padded gauntlet.
Padded,
Keep cold out.
like
We wish to grab
like a
something very
glove,
cold.
like a padded gauntlet. Yeah, that can be made like within like a day. It just requires a little bit of fur work and stuff.
Can you
I'm gonna-
attach it to the gauntlet of my armor?
Like an upgrade? Yeah, I'm gonna say like, it's gonna be like a 20 gold upgrade. It's a pretty cheap work that doesn't require much to like line it up with like fur. I thought you already had warm clothes. One of you, the Pavo had warm clothes. That's why. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, easily done for like just deduct 20 golds and we'll see that's easily done.
20 gold from the credits.
From cool.
Okay.
Ah.
Done and done.
I
So
try not to be awkward around him in
and-
my
and-
mustard armor.
And sorry, what I glazed over because I was confused about it is that the tenders have the answer to. Indeed, they have the answer to what Megan was asking. Is once we have belief, what do we do with it? Tenders know.
Yeah. Okay.
How high up the ranks do you have to be to know about it? What rank are you, Lucas?
Spratling.
Sproutlings are like initiates.
Second rank.
Yeah, they're learning
Scientology?
how to teach. They're learning. It is a cult. It is Thunder's cult. They're learning how to teach, but like you would need to be like a summer bloom to really be in
Ooh.
on such.
Okay.
Yeah, on like artifacts. This is like an artifact, right?
Yeah.
Which is why the tenders are here for. So they know what to do with it, according to Susan. Once you find it.
Okay.
So real quick, I'm gonna go with Hunter. You going on a solo mission?
Yes.
We'll go through this real quick then.
To the leaf.
With your Wolfhawk on their hand, on top of her, you go head northwest. The forest here has changed. You arrive to see a sparse, burnt forest. Ashes litter the branches and cover the forest floor in this thick carpet of ash. To the north, a swath of charred trees visible in the distance, unmistakably the work of the aspect itself. It looks like the aspect has been able to push even closer to the heart since last.
Awful.
Yeah, there's like a... The ashes, like the cover of the forest floor, are cool and possess none of the supernatural properties that ashes within Scorched Grove have, but their presence here is still disconcerting. The effect of the ash is that the forest is still, and the familiar sight of and sound of any wood creatures is conspicuously just absent. Just we'll do this like a rule. Like do me like either survival or nature, which one you feel more confident about, and we'll see how well this goes as you try
Okay.
to locate.
Also, Askrandi has keen sight and smell, and they have a advantage on
And
perception
you-
checks. I rely on that.
I
That was-
would say either survival or nature can be done with advantage because you have the help of your Askrandi friend. Yeah.
Okay, we
sure.
will do survival because
Okay.
I suck at nature. Oh, I have to
again?
put that into. Yep.
Matters
What
not.
the fuck is wrong with my roll?
The search underground wields no results as you begin to climb up the tree branches, navigating, following kind of Ascrandi's scent as she's trying to locate it. She has much trouble. It takes you the better part of an hour to finally locate a single leaf that kind of appears to be of the same description as the one that's shown to you by Susan. You are, at this point, about 40 feet off the ground when your hand finally reaches out to pluck the leaf and pocket it. When all this moving about the tree seems to have attracted the attention of something below. You feel something hit the bottom of the trunk, and looking below, you see a very familiar shape in the ash, below the ash, swirl around the tree. This serpentine shape.
Ah, lovely. There, how far are there? A lot of trees where we're at?
The trees are present, though they are a little bit sparse because of fires. They're about 80 feet apart in terms of like the same height as Sentinel tree you are on, and a few more lower trees like saplings below it here and there.
Okay.
Gliding would be difficult but possible.
I'm gonna take about like 400 ball bearings and attach them into a sack that I have,
Okay.
and I'm gonna yeet them as far as possible in the opposite direction of which we're going to be heading.
You watch it kind of arc downwards, eventually following gravity, and where it lands is a large mushroom cloud of a puff of ash. As a seismic like weight of it radiates outwards, you see the shape tremor-like move toward it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
straight
And
out
then
tremors. Yeah.
I tell Askrandi to fucking move.
She yeets out her, spreading out her wings to glide downwards as you do same a four-winged creature. I would say without distraction, you and I managed to glide a safe distance from like 40 feet up in order to be out of like blind sight range of this creature.
Okay.
And you have the leaf in hand.
All right, we'll make our way back.
Just
down.
one leaf?
I'll grab a second, if there's any.
Roll me another survival with advantage just to see how well that goes. I just thought I would offer while we're here. That way
Fair
we're not
enough.
going.
Gotta have a backup.
14.
Better than 4.
You
Better
come to
than
realize
4.
how rare these leaves are, and unfortunately, you do not manage to find a second one anywhere near before the creature begins to slither on, like within the horizon of your vision. Not so much towards you, but scouring around. Staying would be risky. You would know how dangerous it is to fight one of these things alone. I would say with a 14, unfortunately, it doesn't meet the sea. You
Fair
don't
enough.
manage to find a second one. You only have
Alright.
the one.
I'll protect it with my life.
Back to Elderheart?
Yep.
Okay, cool. The rest of you guys, are we doing the tenders part? Are we doing what?
I think it'd be good to go see the tenders.
By the time that Pavel comes back? Okay.
Okay.
Sure. So, both Tever of the Spring Path and Havel of the Autumn Moon, who you've met back in Chapter 3, can be found at the headquarters within Elderheart's trunk. Even though you're not familiar with this location, it's pretty easy to locate, especially if you just ask around. Despite the short supply of tenders in the wood, both Havel and Tever can be found here. The Tender's headquarters within Elderheart's trunk is surrounded by a sort of garden of mistletoe hanging from lattices and gazebos. you sense, just innately, a spell has been cast upon this place, invoking the spirits of nature themselves to protect these grounds and ward against those who would desecrate them. You see this purplish mist dance in the constant breeze that circles the place and kind of swirls around Pavo a little bit before moving onwards. The verdant undergrowth feels very soft at the foot, and some of it reshapes to serve as temporary seats and hammocks for the various tenders resting here. Wood wads of the grove guard as they walk about with these druidic symbols covering their bark. One of these wood wads you recognize, Pavo, from your encounter with it long ago. It still wears that tea kettle as a helm. Some patrol about, others root themselves amid the guardians and keep watch with eyes like hollow pinpoints in their eye sockets, just yellow glow from the darkness. Tending these gardens, you spot the two tenders, Tev and Hubble, knelt together amid the earth, planting some flowers. They greet you warmly, as you last time you left on good terms. They explain, Havel specifically explains upon your inquiry that the story of the Borealis tells of a wizard who stole a piece of a powerful spirit of winter. They thought they could control its icy powers by containing it within a staff, but instead it froze them. Left to itself, a newly made artifact kept freezing the land around it. The tales say that the old tenders felt this imbalance in the wood. When they found the Borealis, they had the artifact sealed away by the tender elders using a sprig of skyleaf, which remained hearty even through winter. Thus, this magical link. Havel adds that honestly, I hadn't placed much stock in the tale myself. It is mostly ancient, and I only came across it after a long period of study. I think it's just a story, perhaps a parable about the dangers of trying to enslave the powers of living elementals, but who knows? Oddworld is with you guys, so we'll probably add in what he knows, to which Tevo will timidly pipe up. I think I recall a story I heard from a mentor once. Wilkes would know it as well, perhaps. According to a tale, the fate of an elder who wished to become a tender treekeeper was decided by delivering an unburned skyleaf sprig to a frog-shaped rock in the southwest of the Scorched Grove. You know this one, Havel? Yes, I believe it references the ancient chamber in the Scorched Grove. The place was mentioned in the same historical record of the Borealis being sealed away. I'm afraid neither Tever nor I can take you there. We are needed here in Alderheart, but we can mark it on your map for convenience sake. It's fairly distinctive landmark, you won't miss it. Essentially a giant stone frog amid the grove that surely survived the fires. The mark it on your maps. How long do we have? Oh, awesome. We still have time. How are we feeling, guys?
Good.
Good? Just let me know if I'm going too fast with this. I'm just, I would imagine after all that shopping.
Hey, compared to last time, we didn't actually do that much shopping.
Yeah, I'm just imagining after all that shopping, do we want to do anything else in the city while we're here?
Yeah, I want to grab something to put the leaf in that's will protect it from fire.
Your choice. Yeah. Or
And then also, before we leave, Aisling takes a moment to buy a bag of assorted sweets and brings them to the orphanage to kind of say a hi bye. Still think about you.
yeah, sweet. That's wholesome. Sweets don't cost that much. They're like rations. There are a few copper pieces. Orphans are
After
happy
hearing
to
the
see you.
story.
Can I
Good.
while we're interacting with the tenders, can I request that I rank up to a sapling? a promotion to a sapling.
Literally called it.
I'm
Like, yo,
on the
look
way
at
to
all
save
this
the
stuff
world.
I
Promote me,
did.
please.
I mean, what, out of character, why?
Look at all
Um,
the shit he did.
I just wanted to, like, Lorian, why? Why are you trying to?
because it has more benefits than the first two ranks do.
What kind of benefits? Because I don't have the handout in front of me. That's why I'm asking.
As a sapling, you may be tasked with journeying across the wood as official wardens of the tenders while acting in this capacity when reasonable and possible. You cannot villagers to offer free lodging. That's useful. When assigned a mission, you can ask a summer blossom to borrow a treasure of the order to help you complete your task. You can choose from Antlers of True Path or Belt of the Weld. I don't know what those things are.
What's the second one?
Belt of the Weld? Or Wield? I don't know
Um,
how that's pronounced. Whichever object you pick must be returned once the mission is complete. The GM decides which of these treasures. If
I'm
any,
gonna say
have
yes because it's fun.
A
Allow
Also,
because
the pre-
it's fun.
the
'cause
prerequisite is just that you can cast Cure Wounds, which is already a thing at level 1.
when we created your character, I told you to take the highest rank you want. So I don't see why not. I'm more concerned with the items, and those I know those two by heart, and they're not gonna be game changing. It's not
Okay.
like a Echo Free Birth or anything. So
Ooh.
What's a
Before we
don't worry about it.
It's good.
Before we head out again, I know we just went to the blacksmith, but I was looking at my inventory and realized I have some stuff from a couple sessions ago that I grabbed that I wanted to have forged.
Yeah, real quick, what is it?
So I have my elk antler. I wanted to get a dagger with the elk antler for the hilt, and
Oh,
I
you said that.
and then I have the cervical bones that I wanted to get made into kind of like a armband, kind of bracelet armband.
In terms of
thing.
money, 2 gold pieces for like the custom work for the antlers for the dagger. 2 gold pieces will do that. It provides a fine balance for it. Allows for the dagger to be thrown with higher accuracy. And what's the other thing?
And I wanted to use the elk cervical bones to make either like a bracelet or an armband or something.
I'm gonna say that that's part of like the same price of 2 gold pieces. It's more than enough to cover both custom works. We'll say that you've done that, sure. In a time it took
Cool.
Oddworld to kind of
Did-
bond with Susan and
So
And I got my
would it be
gloves.
easier to just say that I
Gloves.
got that done to the dagger I already have, or as
Yep.
it, or just
yep,
to the
if
one
you
I
provide
already
the
have?
metal, that's why it's
Does
so cheap. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just
And does
custom.
that increase any of its value, or is it just going to be a decorative purpose?
I mean,
Just a decorative
it
purpose.
increases value, but not by that much, because it's you're just providing it.
No, I meant
Cosmetic.
its combat value.
Yeah, I said it'll be like more accurate to where the antlers were they from giant elk?
Yeah.
Do you know how to add a +1 dagger to your inventory?
I just look it up and drag it, right?
Yeah, do that.
Well-
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Poggers? All right, poggers. Cool. And
Huggers.
Wilcast gets a little rank up within the Tenth Society, having completed whatever
at
mission
the
he was
camera.
doing in the Scorch Grove first.
Thank you.
What?
Invest Hunter.
I'm disappeared. You'll never see me.
That's funny. Yeah. Do you want to benefit from any of those things you mentioned before with the tenders there, Lorian?
And then I remove my other one.
I imagine I speak to the summer blossoms. I display my proficiencies in healing with cure wounds and with the medicine skill. And as I rank up to a sapling, I would ask for either the antlers of the true path or belt of the wield. I don't know what either of these things do. Surprise me.
That's fine. I have the handout right here. I know they're both uncommon items, so they're not that game breaking. I'm just looking them up right now. Ah, this is shops. This is not magic items. Come on.
Also, free lodging is nice.
Yeah.
I have 2 daggers, so I kind of just put my regular daggers to 1, and then I get 1 plus 1 1. Yes, yes.
Yeah, they have to be separate. So, Antlers of the True Path are a set of polished wooden divination rod-like. Sorry, this polished wooden divination rod is highly valued among Carif seers, the deer folk. It has been carved into the shape of antlers and scored with delicate filigree. While holding the divining rod by its 2 carved antlers, you can spend 10 minutes visualizing a person, place, or object you are familiar with. After this time, the rod begins to pull you toward the target for as long as you concentrate to maintain the effect. The rod will only pull you toward this person, place, or object while it is within 1,000 feet of you, and on the same plane of existence. Once you have used this item, it can not be used again till next dawn. It's essentially find person, object, whatever.
That's the
And
dowsing rods I was talking about.
yeah, there you go. It looks like I'm gonna post it.
It looks like the pictures I posted. In general.
It looks like this in general. Here. So that's the Antlers of the True Path. The Belt of the Whaled. This thin chain belt appears to be made of metal, yet closer inspection reveals it is made up of links of highly polished wood. While wearing this belt, you gain the following benefits. 1. You rule survival checks with advantage while in a forest environment. 2. You ignore difficult terrain while moving through forests. 3. You can cast a long strider spell once, targeting yourself. This property of the belt can't be used again until the next dawn.
Sounds amazing.
What you do is you sleep during the day and you wake up. You use it for like the duration before dawn, and then you have another use it directly after dawn.
Either objects you just use should you choose.
I will take the belt.
Okay. So you have it there. I'll make a handle for it later if it's required, but consider it loaned to you for your safekeeping and trust it to you until you return.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else?
No, that's all.
All right.
I'll tell the rest of the party, it's like, hey, now if we need to spend a night in a city, I can actually get us like free lodging. We don't have to pay.
Technically, if we were in danger, I could use my rustic hospitality to get them to do that to us anyway.
They're both useful.
I haven't used that ability yet, but I
Point
have
at my
it.
yurt.
We do have a yurt.
Yeah, I have this one.
And the necklace.
I haven't used it. It's actually from my background.
Oddworld approaches you eventually as you complete your shopping and whatnot. If you would allow it, I wish to accompany you to the Scorch Grove. However, I should point out the elephant in the room. He rattles his restraints. I won't be much use to you in a fight with these on.
Okay. Wait, did we restrain him?
Yes, he has anti-magic shackles on.
We maybe instead of get like shackles, we could maybe get like an ankle
Oh.
bracelet for him. Like a
Just
I
like
mean,
home arrest
take these
bracelet.
shackles off
frankly,
for now. Wait,
He-
can you cast any magic other than necromancy?
I suppose I could if I had resources, and I can recall a few spells not of that school, yes.
Okay, yeah. Take the shackles off.
They don't come off. As you try to get like
Does
crafty and
anyone
like
have a clue?
see where they like lock, they seem to be a seamless loop.
Yeah.
You know,
Gabe put them on, right?
I realized I forgot to ask Gabe for the key to the shackles.
Darn it.
Or, the
Shame.
shackles aren't coming off until we bring him back.
Do you think Susan could get them off?
Yo,
I already
Suzanne!
asked.
Oh shit.
Take it.
Ooh, what if we took you to stand trial? Would they come off
Yeah.
if you were sentenced?
Maybe Beta. We'll take him
think
off.
so.
The dean already spoke to the council. That's why Oddworld is here.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
guess
but
we could
maybe
just
we
use her as
could.
a human shield.
Maybe we could go talk to the
You're
council.
right, perhaps me
and-
staying out of harm's way is the best. Should I die, the knowledge of the ritual which might save the wood dies with me. Or I could be a human shield. Forget I asked.
Maybe we could go talk to Beta, and now that we have more information about the scenario, we could find grounds in which to make different accommodations for Oswald on this campaign. What do you guys think?
Actually,
do you think Beta
Oswald,
would be
what kind
into
of
it?
magic is keeping them sealed?
Like abjuration, without getting too much. I mean, a close examination like kind of reveals that restraints cannot be dispelled or removed through conventional means and appear to be made of an indestructible material. The knowledge of how to unlock these is with the dean.
Jungle starts putting back his mace.
If I
Really?
What if we cut your hands off
Indestructible.
and we regenerate them?
Do we even have that?
Do you have a way to reattach limbs, Necromancer?
Yes, but I prefer to do it to my own. You know, forget I asked. The more I think about this, the more I think I should not be entrusting you with dealing with this situation. I will just stay out of harm's way.
Jungle nods at that.
Yeah, maybe you should stay here and meet up with Riffin and coalesce and everything.
fair enough.
Yeah, because could we not go see Beta? My persuasion is a +9.
Whatever works.
Yeah, but I don't make you rule if it's impossible.
Is it impossible?
Yeah,
Or you're saying it's
I'll
impossible?
save you time to tell you that it's possible that Beta has made
Okay.
this is his best arrangement.
Okay.
Well, on that note, I suppose we should sleep for the night and head out crack dawn.
Yeah, let's go to the little tavern place.
Do you and
See you.
Susan want to come have a drink with us, or would you rather wait for Riffin? I think he'll be here tomorrow, potentially.
Are you allowed to just let me go walk around the city however I want? I will gladly take a walk elsewhere, yes.
Well, you see, I was going to leave an arrow on you, and I could see through those. Technically, I'd have an eye on you, but if you'd rather just stay with us, then by all means, we're coming to the bar.
Yeah, let's go see if we can go find Duncan. Yeah, have a drink with Duncan. Well,
So, entering to the lower branches. Spend the night there drinking. The large inn tavern. House is inexpensive. I already described it before. I don't know why I'm describing it. Entering the common room of this inn, the tavern teems with activity. Many birdfolk of humble and humfolk alike, of all descriptions, are engaged in talk, drink, and games. 3 large hearths frame the space. One to the right, another in a stone chimney that rises in the center of the common room, and one behind the bar counter. There seems to have been some renovation to the place. Oddworld lingers at the back of the group, adjusting his robes nervously, looking around this shabby place. A familiar-looking strig knight waves you over as you enter. By Titan stars! It looks like you've grown a fair sight since the hubbub at the bandit camp. Riffin, the Ash Knight, lets out a chapel.
Ah, he's here.
He is.
Hey, Oswald is here.
Ah. Would you look at that? You are here. I thought the bird was having a laugh. You gave me very vague directions, but fate has it we meet. How are you, old lad? And they approach one another. Come, these are I suppose you've already met defenders of Alderhat.
Let's get a drink, all of us, yes? And motions you toward the bar.
There's someone missing, and I run to Susan's tent,
Get
Grab Susan.
Yeah.
and I grab Susan and I bring her back.
And the rest of you who stay there kind of look at Riffin. He looks past the group, his eyes finding Oddwald, and he just beams with joy. Oddwald, my old friend, at last. I've scoured half of Humblewood looking for ya. Riffin, says the Corum, trying to find his words. I think we should talk. My friend, it's high time I told you something I should have weeks ago. Riffin will, by the time that you come back to Jungle with Susan, you catch the look upon Riffin's face as he looks more confused, as Oddwald explains himself. Finishing his narrative, the tired old Corvum regards his friend with a sad, crestfallen expression. It's all my fault, Riffin. I am sorry. Riffin looks hurt, but says, not only did you save my life, but we traveled together for many years. I thought I could trust you, my friend. To find out you've been keeping so much from me, coupled with the reckless and dangerous nature of your actions, I'm not sure whether we should remain an adventure party. I need time to
Put
think.
Susan down next to them.
Susan, I suppose, yeah, and she's like, yeah, we're all together now, as I've foreseen. Where I see everything. Riffin doesn't seem to be in the mood for much humor at this point. He kind of goes to hop off his chair, kind of recovering his helm, sword, and shield, and begins looking toward the way to retreat back into his room.
I pick him up.
Oi! Stop that.
Now.
What?
Even though bad things have happened.
You heard him, though. Like you heard him. Like, half of Humblewood on fire.
Yeah, my parents died.
Necromancy.
My village
That part's a
burned
little
down.
dirty. My home burnt down.
I mean, I knew it dwelled into a little bit of dark arts. I didn't mind it here or there, especially when you heal their wounds, but, man, couple frights.
Yeah, that part's fucked.
Well, I
So,
mean, it
like-
was a
Yeah, it's
pretty
fucked.
sound idea if you look at the mathematics behind
If you
it.
do
but
think about it, but the part that I care about is that he's trying. He's trying to fix the mistake that he made. Sure, it's bad and he's dumb. He's also a little prissy pants and dumb. But
I lost my
It's very dumb.
family to that fire. My people.
You're
Same
not
here.
the only one. Look
All
around
of us
you.
have.
You're surrounded by people who have lost someone or something.
I suppose you are right. He's trying to make things right again. Looks toward Oddwald. I don't know if I can ever forgive you, lad, but I suppose I could do my part in fixing your mistakes.
that's what friends do.
That's what friends do.
fair
To the
enough.
bar!
We're at the
And now we
bar.
drink.
Let's go visit Edmund. Edmund, what you got for us?
Me trying to like remember all these NPCs, I'm just like, I know what you're talking
Hey,
about.
I
I'm grinning.
have the list open.
What I got for you is fair prices because this time you don't have a token, and you can actually pay for your drinks.
It's okay because we still have credits left.
Hey, what a 20 gold get us for the night?
You know what? Takes 20 gold. Don't worry about it. Just grab things off the shelf. Just grab them.
Okay, I can't remember.
20
I
gold
can't
is a
remember.
lot, Hunter. That's a lot for booze.
Avo's an old hermit. He
Yeah,
don't care about
and
nothing.
Do you see
I
the
got
size of our
10
party?
Just keep my bar clean.
We're like 10 people.
We do have like 10 people here.
Yeah. Plus,
I get-
since we're here, I'm assuming what's his name? Is the captain here the like walrus dude?
No, Duncan unfortunately left. He's seaborn at this point, unfortunately.
Boo.
Thank God.
Can I, is
But his
what's,
name is
what's her
not
name?
on the board anymore. So,
Duncan. He's on the board. Her name's not on the board. Can I? I'm gonna call her
She was part of the crew, I'm
Miranda.
pretty sure.
Oh, Miranda's not here. Boo! I don't
You're
get the
talking about the
rematch. No, she was a Vulpin. She was like this, like brute of a
That
like
was a dwarf.
brute of a
Dwarf.
woman.
That was a
That was a
dwarf.
dwarf.
the worst.
Oh,
Beard and
dang it.
everything.
Oh.
Yeah. Alright, I
Frickin'
grabbed
rolls
4
20s.
drinks.
I
give
don't
one
get
to
my
Susan.
rematch.
One to Susan, one to Riff, and one to Oswald.
Oh.
And I do a cheer to Old Pain.
Oh, you're grim. To the betterment of humble heart and old pens.
The new wounds.
May
Seeing-
they become
seeing-
Old Pain.
Seeing that I cannot find
cheer
my
to that.
rival. Seeing as I can't find my rival, I take my drink and I go out over to the. I'm gonna assume that since this is a tavern, there's dartboards of some variety,
Sure.
and I put up and I call out an open challenge. I need to loosen up tonight. Who will challenge me at the dartboard?
You know, I was
You know what? If nobody does, I will.
Archer fight.
Archer fight.
Archer fight. Go,
Wolfie. Bring it.
go. Dexterity contest. Fucking flavor it up with some RP.
Do it.
Meanwhile, on this side of the table,
I'm assuming that like
Yeah.
we're drinking at this there, Hunter. We're drinking for this. Kind of like
Yeah.
whoever like we're gonna like set a mark, and then whoever's the furthest from the mark we set has to like take a shot.
Oh, you're lucky I can't use my bow. So like just straight dexterity, Tom?
yeah, it's gonna be like dexterity because you're proficient with darts. Because
I would be proficient with darts.
So it'd be like dexterity proficiency.
Hang on. No, darts is a weapon. I'll just add darts to my sheet.
Is it
I mean,
actually?
Yeah, it's a
It
Yeah,
is a
darts is a throwable weapon.
Cool.
A dart?
Oh wait, I have dart as a weapon proficiency as well.
Jungle
I
has
didn't realize
proficiency in every single weapon.
Good for you, Jungo.
It's
You're
not
Much damage does
coming
it
up.
do?
Well, there
Not
it
a
is.
lot.
You gotta put
Darts.
Yeah, just no,
It's like
just the
1d4 or some shit.
And then, would we both be proficient at it? Because we both do that kind of stuff. Although I suppose he's a ranger and I throw things. We're proficient in.
You're both proficient in simple weapons. Darts are simple weapons. That's what I'm saying. You can add your proficiency bonus to that dexterity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, I rolled a 12.
There's the dart.
It hits the target from like 20 feet away with quite
Gee, how far do you think people stand away in darts?
20 feet.
No,
How far?
it's like
It's
8,
15.
9 feet. Is
10.
it 15? I think it's closer to 10.
I'm looking at my room right now. My room is like maybe 10 feet across.
Yeah, I can't be 20. I'll Google it, but
I'm
you're
gonna
probably
say-
right.
I'm
7
gonna say-
feet 9 inches.
There.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know.
Distance
my
from
measurement.
the front of the dartboard to the throwing line.
That would
If
be
you're
a
using-
hell of a shot from 20 feet. Like,
If you're using a steel tip, it's 7 feet. If you're
I
using
mean-
a soft tip, it's 8 feet.
A little gust makes your like dart like swivel and be more centered as it toward the target, closer center than Ashling's normal throw. That's a little bit of an awkward thing to get used to.
the wind provides.
Are we,
Can
are
I
we,
catch the Layla on a dart?
are we
I-
making bets here?
I take-
or-
No.
I take
I
my shot.
don't have
I
any
take
money to
my
bet.
shot. Like next we're going for the. I don't know. What's my good number? 8.
Whoops. Whoops.
Whoops.
Sure. What are you doing? Going for the 8. Let me get my shit back up. Dart. Yeah. lucky number. Never lets me down.
So are we placing bets here or what?
Yeah.
Like,
What's our bet, Pavo?
As
What are
much
you
as I
betting
don't
for?
like the old man, I'm gonna vote on the old man.
Um.
I put 1 gold onto the table.
Take your shot, old man.
I take my shot.
Shot a booze.
Oddworld, you wanna place a wager?
I bet 5 silver. That's all I got.
Ah, silver and gold, half puff. That sword of yours, that I'll take.
But what?
Your sword for my shield.
I mean, fair enough, but like, cool.
If you manage to beat that lass on your next throw, I'll let you borrow my shield for a day. If she beats you, you let me borrow that sword, that fancy-looking sword of Alderheart, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I
The
mean.
one given to us by Bruno? The one given to
Oh
Nevitz?
no, you mean my captain's sword?
No, the Brenna sword.
Oh well, that's not my sword.
Who
That's
carries it?
Nevitz's sword.
Well,
Oh, who
Nevin's
even
buried,
has
so
the
who has
sword?
it?
I don't know. Anyway,
Probably
sure.
laid it.
Confusing it, 'cause
We
it's
probably
dude.
laid it on his grave.
Yeah, you can have it if I lose for a day.
Did you
Borrow
bury,
it.
did you bury
Confusing it,
Nevitz
'cause
with a fucking sword of Alderheart?
No, we did not bury Nevis with a sword of Elderheart. I was there.
Trent was using it for
Didn't
his
happen.
sword.
I don't know who got the sword, but it wasn't in my inventory. I was
I-
wondering because I was looking at
I
mine.
thought
I kind
Wilkes
of-
got it,
That's what
but
I'm saying.
apparently
surveyed the-
Why
y'all
would you give
haven't
it to
been
the random
managing.
new guy?
I kind of survey the room and I look around and I kind of just I walk over to Wilkes. I'm like, Wilkes, you are the only person in here that apparently is not sexist. Like, what is this? What is this ganging up on the women thing? Like, does no one believe in my ability?
Oddworld is betting on you, lass.
I
I was like,
Aim.
even the string is betting on you.
aim for the bullseye.
So far, I'm the
nice-
only
That's
one.
a natural
I'm
20
the
there,
only-
buddy.
That's
I'm
not a
the
natural
only
20.
one who voted for Pavo.
I suppose I need a natural 20 because I'm at -1 on it. Where's my sheet? There's my sheet.
Oddworld over here is betting on the lass. I mean, is that... I don't know what sexism doesn't have to be with any of this. Y'all ain't right. Y'all make me
And I roll with
comfortable.
advantage because that I've like pumped myself up and like talked everyone out and be like, yo, I got this. What you guys fucking talking
you
about? Can
pumping
I
the
roll with
dart?
advantage?
You got this, all right.
Yeah.
You're gonna
I
do
want to
this.
roll with advantage.
I fucking cast rope trick behind my back and a little bit of rope
Fuck.
snags on your ankle as you throw.
That's
You do know that you don't
That's
move your
not-
feet when you play darts,
That's
right?
not how rope trick works, by the way.
Oh, what? That's the story. I was
you
overzealous.
didn't read the spell, did you?
No, I just
Maybe-
got it. I didn't even know I got it. It's just there.
You get it at level
I make
5
her
as
smell skunks.
Yeah, make your
As if a
throw.
skunk farted in her face.
Oh my god.
Also, roll. Make your throw. Come on, do it.
With that smell of skunk happening next to you.
Hey.
Oh,
Win.
shit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Chug, roll me a gold.
Yeah.
Hold on a
Well.
second. Is it over?
Looks like you
Keep
get
on.
the fancy sword nobody's using for a day.
Damn it. I slide
like-
my 1 gold piece over to Wilkes.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Chungo. The women's got an act for poking things with a
I
tiny.
mean, Chungo never believed in you anyways.
How nice is that guy's shield, by the way? I'm curious.
Pavo, take your damn shot.
Pablo's already taken 3 shots. You just didn't notice. You're too busy gloating.
That's okay. I'm allowed, considering the fact that last time we were here, my efforts went completely, like, unrecognized because I
didn't
went
you,
up against freaking
Didn't you like?
Xena.
Didn't you win the first round?
That's
No,
a
I
very
lost.
nice shield.
Oh.
This freaking Xena was freaking rolling 20s
Nice
or
shit.
Oh, cool.
19.
Gust of Wind's an awesome spell.
But I get sword for one day.
Have you had enough, Pavo? Will anyone else challenge me?
I wanna
I'll challenge you.
play for
From the back. A haggard, 7-foot tall ogre
comes out, dragging Knuckles onto the floor. You don't even know where this motherfucker came from. But all manner of folk, and these are the roots. This is where all the nastiest of nastiest, this hulking, broad-shouldered, just like tits drooping all over the floor.
Why are his
9
tits on the
p.m.
floor?
That's why.
I put 1 gold on the table, look at Wilkes, and I point at the weird ogre thing.
He stretches out a mitt of a hand, his fingers thick as sausages. He grabs one of the darts, barely fitting between 2 of his fingers. It's like a needle point, and he's like, going for the bullseye. You in or
Hey.
what?
That's my line. But good luck.
I
Feeling
deliver it
embrazened,
better.
feeling
another golden
embrazened
axe.
by her success and the amount of booze that she's had at this point. Not that she's drunk, she's feeling a nice light buzz. It's great. She keeps her shoulders up and looks up at the ogre. It's an ogre, right? With fire in her eyes, being like, "You're
Yeah. I've traveled half this land, seeking a worthy challenge. I guess this.
This is the
I
word.
slap my hand on the table at this amazing monster of a comeback.
Dude, this thing does not have high dexterity. You think it's gonna fucking...
Nat 20.
Shut up,
Calling
you
it.
don't have a dick, shut up.
You don't have dick.
Yo, Dick.
You got this, ogre man. Come on.
Do it.
Give me back my $1.
If it hits, if the wall's not there anymore, it counts as hitting the center.
Yep. Because then you have to outclass his demolishing of the wall.
So you're saying, you're saying that if I put this needle here through that wall, I win?
No.
Well, she has to one-up you.
Yeah.
How does she one up me? I'm
I don't
taller.
know.
I'm taller.
That
Just
is
throw
true.
it. Throw it. Do it.
Just do it.
Do it.
Get it through that bullseye and get it through the wall.
Sorry.
Yeet!
Damn.
So what happens?
What did he roll?
Roll your board, right?
I don't see it.
What's
Get a 23.
Yeah.
You got to beat a 23 if you can.
My
I'm gonna
computer's
cast-
completely frozen, so if
Oh.
you could please.
It's because you can't handle all of this.
I'm gonna
Ashling is
secretly-
frozen in fear at the absolute demolition that this ogre has
Can't
wreaked
handle
upon that.
all of this macaw.
I'm gonna secretly cast guidance on Ashley.
Fuck off! How dare you swindle me out of my money?
Well,
This reminds me of when we played that board game.
I would like to imagine Edmund is in the corner just like dialing up security because there's a fucking ogre in his bar now.
Remember we tried to play that fucking board game? I cast blind on the guy.
Yeah.
He can't see
Oh,
the board.
You bastard.
So, what did I roll?
You gotta roll
You
for
didn't
it.
roll.
Our computer's not working.
My computer's frozen.
What are your modifiers there? Let me do this in the traditional sense, and I think we're gonna
It's dagger plus 5. So, it's plus 5.
since you're all more
Dart.
dark.
Plus 1d4.
Why would it be plus 1d4?
Because he
'Cause
casts
he's
guidance
cheating.
on you. He's cheating.
What the fuck is that?
Is that 9?
That's the dice. That looks like a bad number that's not 23.
9.
That's a 6.
6. Plus 5.
Can't
so it's
tell which one is up.
It's
I'm
It's
pretty
a
sure it's
9.
9.
it's backwards.
Nine.
It's a 9.
Yeah, I told you it's 9. I was right.
Well, no, because when I just saw it before then, he had the 6
Yeah.
facing our way.
It was a 9. I was showing a 9. So that's plus 5.
So it's 14.
Weak.
I-
Lucas sighs and tosses over a gold coin to Chunga.
Welcome
I
back.
go over. Ashley goes over to the ogre and kind of like puts the fist up, being like, awesome.
I got a better game to play. These tiny pricks. Pathetic.
Which one of you carries like a sword or something?
I have a sword here. Look.
I have a sword, a mace, a maul, a halberd.
I was gonna say, I think all of us carry swords except Wilkes.
Sword tossing.
Uh,
Eh?
I kind of
think-
turn around to my party.
I
and
bet I
kinda
can
look
shoot
at
that
Chungo,
sword
like, Chungo,
out of the air with my bow.
Bet what?
I put 1 gold coin on the table that he can't
Yeah,
do.
gold schmoo boring. Bet what?
I bet my toad.
He's a cute toad.
Wow, really?
Yes.
He's a
You have
cute-
no love for life, don't you?
I am confident in totally.
Ogre begins like salivating out of the corner of his mouth.
I bet, what do birds eat?
I don't know what to give you. Dude! It's a fucking ogre. What do you want from me?
I don't know. You're the one who put him in here.
I start pulling my money back away from Wilkes and changing my bet because I don't want the toad to be eaten by the
I
ogre.
give you what ogre has best. You point, I punch. 1 punch.
Okay.
I punch
can work with that.
anyone.
Basically, you
Anywhere?
gain a one
I don't
punch
care.
man.
Okay.
activity.
Oh,
Punch your
alright.
dad's dick.
You give toad, I give ogre punch.
okay.
Get him to punch
Watch him
himself.
take his brother or something.
Anyone, no exception.
All right. This is a simple target. It's in the air. It's shiny.
I toss and you shoot.
I go. Ding. Yeah.
Go be like DC-15. That's unfair? He winds up and then like everyone's like, take it outside. Fucking
Alright.
goes outside, waits
I
for
walk
you.
out with this with my beer.
Yeah, just watching it. Oh, it made me
Yeah,
want to stay
we all
inside.
like go outside with our drink.
I'm gonna stay inside actually.
He
I'll
like
be back. Okay.
prepares to like frisbee it whenever you say loose.
Loose.
Yeah, shit!
Tosses it
Ooh.
through the air. Would you do that? You already rolled, so we already know. There's no suspense. 22, just
Ding.
ding.
I really want Froggy. Froggy. Alright. You win.
Who punch?
Where?
There's this
Say your
wall
brother.
of cinder.
Say your brother. I swear to God. Punches the town guy.
Like he's so gonna say his brother.
Yeah. Like Magnus.
Punch Peter in the face. Punch Peter in the face.
Gets arrested. Goes to jail just for your shits and giggles.
It's ogre code. I made promise. Punch literally anyone. Give me anyone.
I don't know a guy.
You know what? I'm gonna let you think on that. I'll be right here till next session for you to think
Okay.
about
All
who I
right.
can punch.
Okay.
Tom,
Damn it.
Yes, up.
while they're outside and Lucas stays inside, Lucas is gonna walk
Yeah.
up to the map pouch and say, I want to challenge you for that shield of yours.
The Griffin?
The
You're-
streak?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like challenge how? Real quick, because it's like 9 to 12. So
Wait, doesn't Pavo have the shield now?
No, I
No,
lost
he lost. He
Yeah.
lost.
Yeah, that's right.
because you beat me.
That's right. You gave
For a,
he wants to try out weapons. He's a warrior. He likes to try out weapons.
What are you challenging Griffin to? What game?
Chess.
we could do a chess. I was gonna say a drinking contest, but chess works as well.
He's really not in a drinking mood. He just like found out about Oddworld. He like I was gonna mention, but because we're having fun, he doesn't seem to be in a drinking mood. He hangs out, but he's very moody. He's just kind of pondering things.
That seems like the time to drink.
I understand. He's like,
That's the whole reason Ashley was drinking
Roll
tonight.
persuasion.
Me? Okay, I got you. I
No,
got this.
I mean,
Oh.
whoever's challenging. I mean, you're interacting.
There it is. 17.
Fuck it. So, like, a drinking contest con v con for his shield?
Yep.
Can you even
And
use
I'll
shields as a
wait.
druid?
Yes, I can. I'm
Yep.
using a shield right now. I have a wooden shield.
Okay.
It can't be metal. I'm pretty sure that
Yeah,
was
if there's
metal,
any
man.
metal on it, you're not allowed to use it.
He's not allowed to wear... no,
Wait,
you're correct. You're not
wearing
allowed
This
to
Don't
shield
push
has
you.
metal on it.
Yeah, they can't have a metal. The druids can't have anything like metal.
Metal.
I'll allow it. Just because it's not a fun role. It's a roleplay role. It's not like a fun role.
Hey man, you get a dragon tooth sword? Like,
I know. It's just like it's.
Hey man, changing things to say that you have iron fungus armor in that one shot.
oh my god, yeah.
I literally changed scale mail to iron fungus mail.
Yeah. All right.
Because fuck it, we're
Drink-
level like 60.
Drink to drink then. I'm gonna go ahead and roll for him as he takes the first mug and he tries to forget his sorrows. You
Jesus
outdrink
Christ.
I was gonna say I feel bad for him being like pushed into this.
He lets out the burp, but he's content to just like, man, life is bullshit as of late. Just,
Yep.
as your friend said, to old pains. And he takes the second one. We'll do this like 3x3 like last time.
Okay.
Oh,
That's a
I
1-1.
actually rolled lower than
Yeah.
a 1.
You know, I never liked this stuff. Oh, one more. 9.
Oh,
Natural.
Two
he was
successes.
swindling the entire time.
it's like drinking water.
He just like drinks how to attack and puts it down. Is like, this ain't
When you
right.
live off of what nature provides, you develop an iron gut. You know, we don't have that
You got some trunk booze in you.
Smash
Or
this
either.
point. He just takes off his shoes. Like, just be careful with it. It's my family's last heirloom. And he passes out on the floor.
Now pickpocket the sword
Now I
off of
feel
him.
real bad.
Now I kind of feel bad for drinking him into passing out.
All right.
I'll take.
My
you know,
DM juices are
that-
running low. I'm gonna call it a session here, guys.
Yeah.
As fun as this is, and as fun as you guys like playing darts over actually saving
Saving the world.
yeah. It's,
Imagine. Oh, we gotta go.
Cooling off before the last thing.
We gotta go stop Strahd. No, we must play darts with Yagamu Yagamu.
Hey, it
I
was
wish
part of our
y'all would.
rest. We weren't doing anything anyway. We
It's
were
true, we were going to
about to
bed.
go
It's-
rest.
yeah, sure. It's like RP time. It's. I welcome it. Jokes aside, it's time for Aldwell to bond with Susan, with Riffin, with the party, even though he needs to take some things off his chest and stuff. But we'll continue from here. I will delete Bracken Mill from the map, and we'll continue from here.
Woo!
Fuck
that place.
Yeah, fun stuff. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Probably best because Roll will be with us next time. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fun drinking contest story of D&D.
Mm-hmm.
Playing it with Matt, Greg, and 2 other people with Eric as the DM. And so we have a drinking contest against all of us with a couple NPCs. And we didn't notice Matt like tell Eric something. So we're all rolling for this. And it's just like, oh man, Matt's fucking like beating all of us. He's always surviving it all. And then at the very end, like I pass out staring at Matt's character like, what the fuck? You Iron Man. And he's just like, yeah. And then he turns his beer into water in front of me, Iron Man, and drinks it. And I was like, you fuck. I fell down.
That's
Oh my gosh,
fucking
wait.
hilarious.
It
Would you
just
be able to
turned-
use the purified water spell to turn the
Yeah.
alcohol into water
Yeah,
before
it's just
drinking
bad
it?
tasting water. That's it.
Hey, how much water is in blood?
Down the water.
Like 70%.
So what if I cast purify water on a person?
It has to be with his sight.
What if
And
you
if
cut the
I,
guy?
what if I prick a hole in them and I can see inside their
Then
veins?
you're a sadist.
Then you're a bloodbender.
A bloodbender.
All right, though.
You
That's
know,
the only
this-
story.
this- you know the DM is running out of juices and he's like starving and he's tired and stuff after a day of work. I haven't eaten anything since I came back from work. When I fucking have ogres enter the fucking tavern in Humblewood.
Yeah.
Just fuck you, have
Why
an
not?
ogre. It's a dragon. Meh.
Hey, hey, you said you keep telling us you don't want to do it. You don't want to be
I'm gonna
leading.
go. Thanks,
Let
guys.
you
One
gotta,
of
you
the-
gotta go
Bye.
with what we say.